Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Three Dudes podcast.
Yeah.
Plus one.
Yeah.
Now with 33% more dude.
That's
Yes.
right. That's true.
That's true.
We did the math.
33.3.
Three.
Repeated.
With the
Repeating
line
quotes,
over
yeah,
the top.
of course. Repeating quotes.
Yeah.
Can I just say that you consistently have the best intros to these episodes?
Well, I think I'm the only one here who's done radio.
Yeah, right.
I did radio in college. I did radio for my job for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours are consistently the best. Like Dave's and I's usually start with just like fart noises and like a whole lot of nothing.
It'd be like fart noises and apologies, and then like,
God, am I sorry? God.
and then telling,
Oh.
telling everyone what episode it is, even though they already know
Yeah,
that.
right.
Well, you missed it last week, but I was drunk and doing we were playing Farkle. Drew had introduced us to Farkle.
Yeah,
and
Farkle.
I was having fun pretending like I was like calling a craps table. it's a dice game, so I just call out point values like $3 showing.
Yeah, I remember.
$400.
I was actually sitting behind you when you were doing that. We just showed up later
Right. Yeah, it was a good time. I like
doing the.
dramatically announcing things.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's it.
It's fun.
Morty.
I don't know. You at least treat things like they're worth putting some effort into.
Hey, take
unlike
this
the
away
other
from me
dudes.
before I ruin this.
Every episode, someone's gonna find something to fuck with.
Yeah, just fidgeting all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're back, and we have an extra
are.
dude. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Dan.
Hi,
Hello,
Dan.
Dan.
Hi. I've only just met you. I just walked through the door and I heard you guys were doing
Thanks for
How did
coming
you
in,
get
I
in
guess.
here?
Yeah, we got a sign out front of our house.
Who is this?
No.
Who is that? No, Dan's been playing D&D with us, which is
Yeah.
sweet.
He's
Yeah.
our half. Was it half orc?
half orc, half penis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Penis, right.
Basically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
nearly the largest possible dick.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
The three-legged orc. You are a barbarian.
No,
That's
I'm
a fighter.
No, ranger.
Ranger.
Ranger danger.
That's right.
Goes along with the theme of our windowless vanguards.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
The windowless vanguard.
That only just happened. That's new to the podcast.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
our
yeah.
party has a name.
Our party has a name. Our name is the windowless vanguard.
And Winklevoss.
And Winklevoss.
Winklevoss.
That's right. Yes.
And Winklevoss.
He's not allowed inside the vanguard.
Right.
right.
No.
He
Yeah.
tags along.
I'm too
behind.
little.
He just kind of
My mom warned me about that stuff.
Yeah. As of this podcast, we've just come across a magically hidden hideout of perhaps demonic origin that we're going to go investigate and find
spooky.
Hidden
out.
like most hideouts are.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
A hideout that's just hanging out in the middle of somewhere isn't very good.
Hideout in Times Square.
That's just a house.
That's above ground. In
Where
the middle
no
of the
one would
street.
expect it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so we're gonna find out what's in there, and we did pretty good last time. I think we
did.
Our rolls were on point. Our logic, our thinking was on point.
I think so.
Yep.
I think we did good.
I almost threw up.
Yeah.
That was
Yep.
cool.
We all signed a contract without reading it at all.
Yeah,
Which is probably a bad idea.
that's all right though, because we're gonna win. We're gonna succeed
Yeah, we're
in
gonna
our
get it.
mission.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Possibly.
When was the last time you looked through like the actual like terms of agreement on anything before?
Good
That's
point.
what I said. It was
You just
like
Right.
scroll through it as you should and then hit accept.
Yeah.
You don't know what's in there. It doesn't matter.
Didn't they?
all that matters is if I don't say yes, I don't get to use this thing right now.
Right.
Didn't
Yes.
they do something like if you were to read through all the terms of service you agree to in a whole year, reading through all of them would take you like 10 times.
Like 10 years or what?
Yeah, like some amount of years or
Oh, God.
what have you. Like they're ridiculous.
I believe it. They're not meant to be read.
No.
They're just
No.
meant to be used as a bullet shield for the company later.
Think about this. There's some lawyers who drew that up who made a lot of money
Oh yeah.
just
yeah.
writing that shit that nobody reads.
Well, because in their eternal contract, they skim a little off the top.
Right.
Yeah. That's the thing. They were smart.
Yep. It's actually in the part you don't read.
Right. Right. If you were paying attention.
Right.
Yeah, I think the TOS and the EULA for Sven Co-op, which is a mod for the first Half-Life, it just consists of just click next and just hit OK.
Nice.
That's all that shows up in the install wizard.
I bet there's one guy out there who actually does read all through that, and he's just been going through the same one for like a year and a half now. And he's like, I just want to use Photoshop. What the fuck?
He's got like a stack of papers, and he's just like every night, like some like medieval scrivener, just like going over.
He's just pouring through with a magnifying glass.
He's got like a jeweler's loop, and he's reading the fine print.
Adobe.
the Grand Maester.
Finally gets to the end of it, and he has to update and has to do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a modern day.
It's a vicious cycle. Yeah.
We've updated our privacy policy.
Read it again.
Yeah, I finally uninstalled iTunes. I had iTunes hanging out on my my operating system.
There's no need for it.
There's no need for it.
Not with
bad.
Spotify.
Right, right. I have Google Play Music. It's it's
Yeah.
just
Brag about it.
yeah, right. That's right. The family plan, son.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no need because I have whatever I don't have on Google Play. I have in my useless pile of 600 CDs.
Right.
And whatever I don't have there is in my useless pile of cassettes, and whatever I don't have there is in my pretty cool pile of records. So
Now, I had to get iTunes, I can't remember how many months ago it was when, well, I guess actually, okay, so it was around this time last year or a couple of months later when I did set us all of the podcast up on iTunes.
Yeah.
You have to have an iTunes account.
Yep.
Then you have to get iTunes. You have to go into the store to do certain things.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I got it for that purpose. Haven't opened it since. I don't want to have it. I don't know if anyone really wants iTunes anymore.
No.
it's
no. There's no reason to have it.
not even Apple users. They're done.
I mean, I used to use an iPod as my primary source of listening to
too.
music, and
Yeah.
At that point, it was good for
Perfect.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it worked well for that.
Yeah.
I guess I still have it because I just never got to the point where I uninstalled it.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But-
so just hanging out there,
It is like
mining your data.
It's insane how slow it runs for
clunky.
something that is just. Oh no, the dog head fell.
Oh no! Our creepy dog head.
Fuck.
Gave up.
God damn it.
Yeah.
That's how I
it's-
feel inside.
Shit.
It is. It's very clunky software, and then it installs like the Bonjour suite and like all this other shit that
Right.
Yeah.
like is always in your background processes.
Right.
And
Apple, what's it called? Apple Updater or whatever.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just
Every
constantly
time.
just
And we
spams
changed
you.
our terms of service.
Every 2 weeks they update iTunes like 10.1.7.8.9.
That's like,
Yeah.
that's so frustrating. Well, and then like especially on Windows, it's so clunky. I had one of the, I still have it. I just don't use it anymore. The old iPod Classics because
Yeah.
they're indestructible.
Same.
They're awesome.
And you can, it's 160 gigs worth of music, which I have.
Yeah.
And it just like, got to the point where I had so much music on my iTunes account that it would crash when I would open it. So like, and that's like literally, I got the 160 gig iPod because that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then, I would presume that the program that I'm supposed to be using to maintain all 140 gigs of it would work.
Yeah.
And it just would
Yeah, no.
crash on site.
You had one
Yeah.
job.
I had the literal only reason that I downloaded you and you failed it.
Yeah, right. I don't care for that.
No.
You know what annoys me right now is you remember when you used to download something like Malware Bytes or something and you get the freeware version and then
Right.
you
Yeah.
go through like the first 30 days and then they would bug you about buying it and then they just leave you alone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they don't do that anymore. Now every 30 days it goes, we got to get an update and you have a new 30-day trial.
Yeah.
So it just keeps bothering you in repetition.
Which is smart.
Yeah,
On their
good,
part.
good for them. 'Cause
Yeah.
they know I'm not going to pay for it.
Incidentally, Bitdefender free does not do that.
Right.
Bitdefender,
Right.
good guy. Good
I have
guy
big defenders,
antivirus.
but I also have Malware Bytes for removal of like other stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Like spyware.
Yeah, right. I have it for the removal of dust bunnies.
Should you remove that? Is that not good?
Is that not good?
I've just been installing like spyware all the time. I
mean,
thought
if-
that was cool.
you should remove it if you don't want like a huge payout from that Nigerian prince you're helping.
I want to.
right.
I want to be a spy.
Right?
This sounds cool.
Why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah, right. Spyware. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
I'm a spy now.
I'm a spy now.
So it seems like it's time to.
It's time. It is time. It's always time because we're always fucked.
Yes.
I'm personally fucked because of Warframe.
Oh no!
I revived an old addiction and I started getting back into Warframe, and now I'm remembering exactly like the further you progress in that game, it's insidious. The further you progress in that game, the more content you unlock, and the more content you unlock, the more shit you can do at once.
What? At once?
At once. Last night, I had 8 things being built in my forge. In the meanwhile, I was doing alerts, leveling up 4 different pieces of equipment: my warframe, my melee weapon, my primary, and my secondary. At the same time as I'm doing these alerts, I'm gathering more materials to craft more things. while also completing quests to get to a higher master. Well, no, the leveling up the gear increases your mastery rank, which unlocks more content. But I'm also doing a plot quest that also, it'll start introducing new gameplay mechanics.
Is there a point at which you sort of plateau and they just let you die, or like do this forever?
Nope, they keep updating the fucking
Finally,
thing.
the sweet release of death.
This is awful.
Just like EverQuest.
You can't even die.
But the no, I think there's an end game. I haven't seen the end game yet, but
Neither has the developer of Warframe.
yeah, there's like high level raids and shit, which I haven't done yet. Morty, because I don't have all like the like Riven mods, and I haven't like catalyzed all my gear yet, and I haven't done all this, that, and the other thing.
You haven't turned your gear into a bunch of cows.
Delicious.
Oh God,
Dad. And so it begins.
Enable beef mode.
It's like that secret level in Diablo.
Yeah, the cow level.
right.
Yeah.
oh, that level doesn't
There is no
exist.
cow level.
No, there is no cow level. we're gonna continue milking these jokes for a while.
Moo.
That was a really spotty joke.
It's true. You can't resist a dad joke.
It's impossible.
This is
Yeah.
utter
No.
I just
nonsense.
grabbed him by the horns.
Yeah, I try to make one on a daily basis.
I feel like at this point you should just hoof it out of here.
You motherfucker! Unbelievable. Why I never.
Will yogurt going already with the rest of your?
I will. Look, I
Jesus Christ.
I wrote the book on dad jokes.
Yeah,
but most people only skim it though.
Nice.
Bringing it back.
So that's why I'm still the master.
I'm not even mad.
Buns.
So anyway, moving on to this other topic, Warframe. Yeah, I've steered myself back into Warframe, and it's corralled me. It's lassoed me right back in.
Enough! I will not let the listeners listen to this one more. Enough!
Would you call this bullshit?
God damn it, no! There needs to be like a Geneva Convention kind of rule about this scenario. Just warfare via pun.
Okay. All right. We'll move on.
We're gonna need some bovine intervention to get
No,
through.
but all those things that you're talking about, though, are the reasons why I tried playing Warframe like earlier this year. Because it's,
Yeah.
there's every once in a while I'll try to pick it back up again, but it's so impenetrable. Like honestly, like there's so much.
There's a lot.
It just like dumps it on you.
It's a real fucking grind.
The gameplay is really fun though. Like I really enjoy playing the game, and like I try to play it every once in a while, and then like it gets to those parts where it's just like, okay, so I have to do all this stuff now, and it's just
right now, because I've got 2 parts to make the Warframe I'm after right now, and it's exclusive to the update called Plains of Eidolon. And the way you get it is you have it's all within the Plains of Eidolon. And so the part I'm working on right now requires me to spearfish.
What? Really?
yeah. There's actually fishing in this game.
I have to.
It literally has everything.
It is at least spearfishing, so it's like a bit more fun than what fishing was in World of Warcraft, which is
Just waiting for.
oh god, it was the worst.
Standing there.
So yeah, I'm having to catch. They're called shark eels, and I have to extract shark electroplaques from them because Warframe likes to make up names for things.
Did you say chark?
Oh, they have so many
Chark.
made up names.
Half cherry, half shark.
His body is scary.
But its head is a cherry.
Shark.
CHARC.
Nobody knows what that is.
Yeah.
Is how that's. Yeah. So that's
Just told them what that is. They now know what that is.
so that's what I'm doing right now, and it's just. Yeah, the grind is real, man. The grind is real, but it provides you a fun thing to do. It lets you be a space ninja. It's pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah.
The storylines are also pretty neat.
Yeah, they're very. It's very grindy. I think that's what it kind of
Now,
off-put me.
in my defense, also, with a GTX 1080 and a 144 hertz monitor, the game is fucking gorgeous.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
It is unbelievably beautiful, and it's one of those games that I can just play my music throughout. Like I could be playing this for 5 hours and listening to just everything I possibly
Even
can.
though it keeps opening up and giving you like more slots to make more things and more things to make, like, isn't there still a fatigue where you're like, yeah, but I'm just doing the same thing, just more of it.
Which is why I keep putting it down and coming back to it.
Right. Okay.
This is just the latest time I've come back to it, and it's fucking me because now it's. It's like the Tetris effect. It's just in my head. I keep seeing, like, I keep feeling my pinky just reflexively holding down shift, crouch space to do the corkscrew jump, crouch space, slide, crouch space, slide, crouch space.
Honestly, the first time you like figure that out, it's like one of the most mind-bending things in games. Like, I can do this, and you just travel across the entire environment in seconds. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I had that same experience with learning how to shield surf in Breath of the Wild. Before that got super popular, because they don't really tell you, unless I just haven't found it, they don't really tell you how to do that. This is something you kind of have to figure out.
Right.
But you can surf on your shield in Breath of the Wild, which is really cool until your shield breaks and you fall off the edge of a cliff.
Does it damage the shield as you do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's totally cool because you can slide around this massive map, and just kind of glide everywhere.
It's a hell of a lot more fun than fast travel.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got it.
You don't like loading screens?
Not really.
I heard you like loading screens.
You could also, I remember in Morrowind, there was a thing where if you took like, what was it, like 100 skooma at once, you'd just like move faster than the game could render the next area. So,
Just like shatter time and space.
yeah, it was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chris, why are we fucked?
We're fucked. Actually, Dan, I think you and I talked about this a little bit at work because it's something that had come up that I keep hearing. We're fucked because people keep making fun of Ringo Starr, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah. How does Ringo get such a he's a
He
legit
always
drummer,
gets the shitty.
He is legit drummer.
Yeah, he gets a shitty rap because he only wrote. I think he technically only penned 2 Beatles songs that made it on Beatles albums.
First of all, Rocky Raccoon is rad.
Right,
Yeah.
He didn't write Rocky Raccoon.
Didn't he?
That was Paul McCartney.
Oh, I thought
He wrote
that one.
Octopus's Garden and Don't Pass Me By. Octopus's Garden.
I like
was on-
Octopus's Garden.
I do too.
That's a fun one for sure.
On Abbey Road, yeah. Don't Pass Me By is on the White Album. But everybody's shitting on Ringo all the time. Meanwhile, he did basically on almost every Beatles drum track. It's Ringo. Whereas like a lot of the other stuff, they would kind of mix interchange between Lennon, Harrison, and McCartney. Ringo was like pretty consistent. They would, have him do pretty much every drum track. I think the only one that comes to mind that he didn't do was the Ballad of John and Yoko. That was Paul.
Yeah.
And you can tell that it's not Ringo because it doesn't sound like Ringo.
But the thing is, he was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were tight. Like
perfect.
As a band, they were all like, they came up in the club scene. So they played hundreds and hundreds of shows and they got super tight. And Ringo especially had to be super tight because when they started playing, baseball stadiums,
Right.
on little 100-watt Vox amps, there's no way that you could hear it.
Right.
Right.
Ringo said that he got
Thousands of screaming teenagers.
yeah, exactly. It's deafening, and if you listen to some of those old Beatles live recordings, it's deafening on the record. So like, it's just he said he had to learn to play. He had to learn where he was at in the song by what the other 3 were doing in front of him. So depending on how Lennon was moving when he would sing a song and how he was tapping his foot, he would know where he was at in the song. That's incredible. And that takes a lot of talent and a lot of playing to do.
Yeah.
And everybody's always shitting on Ringo, and I'm frankly tired of it.
And he's still alive.
And he's still alive. Yeah.
So fuck you, John Lennon.
Right. Take that, Lennon, you fucking peaceful bastard.
You assassinated
Imagine that.
awful father.
Dirty fucking hippie. Well, yeah, that's the thing too, though. Like Ringo came from money and shit, right? Like he was kind of like a fancy lad, right? So there's like there's something to hate about that too. Isn't there? Just
That's fair, yeah.
He's kind of a fancy lad.
Now, dumb question. That's not his real name, is it?
No, it's Richard Starkey is his name. Ringo was like his short name. Yeah, Richard Starkey.
makes
Ringo Starr.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that was I think that was Epstein's idea, was
That's-
to simplify it for.
I like that it's actually like similar to his real name. It's not like a stupid like Meta World Peace. It's not like some
Great, underrated drummer metal world piece. It really is.
well, no, Meta World Peace is
I know that name.
No,
but I don't know
it's
it.
Ron Artest.
yeah, former NBA player Ron Artest.
artist formerly known as Ron Artest.
the psychopath.
He's the guy
formerly
who
known as
jumped
Ron
into the
Artest.
crowd and started punching fans.
Yeah,
Yeah, that happened.
he elbowed
Yeah.
James Harden in the head one time deliberately in front of thousands of people.
That guy, he was a dirty motherfucker. But,
Yeah, he was a nutcase.
Also underrated. I think his children are named Ron Artest 1 and Ron Artest 2.
Wait, seriously?
I think that's accurate. And I might be thinking of somebody else.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's like
so
Frank
weird.
Zappa with Moon Unit and Dweezil.
Yeah.
Two of my favorite names.
Didn't George Foreman have like multiple George?
Maybe that's the one I'm
George,
thinking
Georgette,
of. Maybe it's
Georgina.
that one.
Yeah, like all his kids are George.
He did that on
Yeah.
purpose so he could remember them. That
But
is-
wouldn't it be easier to forget,
Seriously.
though?
Yeah. Well, he's a boxer, so you see what happened to Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was like a mess
Get your head
by the
scrambled.
time he was
Yeah.
dead. Right. So
Yeah.
he did that. That was done on purpose. He did that so he could remember his kids.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's really sad. Incidentally, George Foreman's fine. He's still, I wouldn't say he's quick, but he's still
Sure.
all there.
He's
I
around
would,
what
I
you
would not try to
expect
fight
for-
him.
No.
Yeah.
A guy's got a sledgehammer for a fist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But no,
I wouldn't want to fight him either. He made my favorite household appliance.
right.
I literally used a George Foreman grill today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
great.
have him,
It's
yeah.
what a great idea.
Mine is
I got-
gathering dust.
I got to get more bread, but I've got all this stuff to make a real good Swiss melt, and
Yeah, there you go.
I gotta set that up.
But anyway, I digress. I'm tired of people making fun of Ringo. I would cite one of the greatest drum tracks ever laid down is Ringo's track on Ticket to Ride with that really funky in the pocket beat that he's playing. That's just it's off from the rest of the band, but it works somehow.
I feel like I'd have to listen to it again to.
And that's the thing I always liked about his drumming. It's like it's never showy. It's just always consistently good.
Well, the thing about him is that he's left-handed, but he plays on a right-handed kit.
Yeah.
So he can do stuff and he can create sounds that other drummers can't. Because he grew up in the time when you're not supposed to play left-handed.
Right.
That was like considered a bad thing to be left-handed. So they trained him how to do everything right.
Well, it's the devil's
You'd
mark.
be burned at the stake.
That's right. It's clear that the devil is in this boy. Look how he uses his left hand.
Let's see if
Yeah.
let me see if I can play a little.
It's left in Latin is sinister.
Here we go.
Right.
And just
Here comes the DMCA takedown. Here we go. Oh yeah,
That's
Like
good.
one of
he
the
subdivides it.
and then changes time signatures in that song too. It's really clever.
that
That's always been
reminds
one of
me
my
of
favorite Beatles songs.
Yeah, that's a
really
good one.
Yeah.
that reminds me of my favorite one of my favorite little drum things in I Fought the Law, Bobby Feller 4. When he gets to robbing people with a 6-gun, he beats 6 times, 2 measures of 3x4.
Sweet.
Yep. No, but that's it. I just wanted to say I'm tired of people shitting on Ringo. Stop making fun of him. He's one of
Yours
the
is leave Ringo.
leave
alone.
Ringo alone. He's one of the greatest live drummers and one of the greatest studio drummers ever. And he's super tight. And if you're a drummer, he's probably better than you'll ever be. So stop
And he seems
making
like a
fun
pretty
of him.
chill dude. Like
And he seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, did he just seem nice?
Yeah, he just seems like a nice guy.
It's like so Aubrey sent me something about Guy Fieri again because it's like that thing that is now going around about like Guy Fieri just like goes everywhere living his passion and feeding people for free and being a great guy.
Yeah,
and we
like-
still shit on him because he's fat and he's got frosted tips.
What is everyone's beef with Guy Fieri?
I
right?
told Aubrey it's because it's easy.
Yeah, it's
'cause
easy.
It's so
He's
easy
an
to make
easy
fun of Guy
target.
Fieri.
People like a guy like that who's just always nice. 'Cause
Get
it's
it?
just,
He's
fuck
wearing
you.
flame shirts in 2018.
Yeah.
Like,
No, yeah,
Beef.
no.
did I
beef,
actually
no,
say beef?
No, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said beef.
He said beef.
What's everyone's beef with Guy Fieri? Beef.
Hey everybody, it's me, Guy Fieri. If you love watching me eat myself to death in front of my wife and kids, you're gonna love watching them leave me on Christmas.
That's a lot. That's a lot for him to put at stake.
yeah.
Did you ever see the picture of him in front of like his collection of cars?
No.
They are as tacky as you can imagine.
I would have.
Of course they are.
Of course they are.
Like actual like trucks with flame decals. And
Yeah.
stuff.
There was a fucking a couple of years ago. I remember a picture of Guy Fieri in the kitchen with his kids, and they're all dabbing, and people are like, "Oh, no, it's so cringy." It's like he's having fun with his
Leave him
kids, and
alone.
they're having fun with him.
He's a great dad.
I bet he's a great dad.
You're just jealous your dad didn't dab with you. You
Right.
love piece of shit.
Yeah.
You're just jealous your dad won't bust out his flame shirt and dab with you on Instagram. Jealous. So I will tell you why I think we're fucked.
Okay.
Yes.
Today was Chipotle's guacamole day. It's always fucking fast food with me.
Yeah.
I know.
Even though
You always have a real cow about it.
oh my god,
Dude, I swear to God. So today was free guacamole for everybody.
Guacamole.
Guacamole.
Yeah.
People were incidental to this. People were all upset about the fact that the coupon code wasn't working and they couldn't get their guacamole. And it was a whole like,
I just want to get my guacamole.
want free guacamole because the world owes me things.
It's like $1 more.
Yeah,
Yeah, just fucking pay
it's
for
people
it.
bitching about things for $1.
Makes your $7 burrito into an $8 burrito.
Yeah, you're already paying
Gives a
$7.
shit.
You're already overpaying for that burrito.
Right, you're paying for diarrhea.
Yeah.
What are we going to split hairs here?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're paying for future diarrhea now.
Right.
The future of diarrhea technology.
Chipotle. Future diarrhea now.
The diarrhea of tomorrow. Today.
But here's why we're fucked. Is knowing that today was a big day for Chipotle, a
Yeah.
scam started going around the internet. And this scam was for a
Oh, no.
This is one of the first things I woke up to today was a text from a friend, and it was like, "Oh, you can get $100 free Chipotle gift card," and immediately I'm like,
No, you can't.
$100.
It sounds pretty steep, doesn't it? Like if they said
Yeah.
a free burrito, I'd be like, "Well, sure, that might be possible."
I'm sure it'll get people stampeding to their local Chipotle.
Right.
Yeah.
But what this,
Oh my god.
I feel partially the blame.
we could wrap the show up now.
I feel like this is somehow my fault.
Guys, I think Dave's seeing red.
Anyway, so naturally I was skeptical about this, and I started
Yeah.
looking around. I started seeing that it's spreading around Twitter, and people are trying to get at this.
Like diarrhea.
So the thing is,
Yes.
these people got my phone number because my friend gave them my phone number.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Because it's one of those refer
God.
5 people things, and you get whatever. So now the scammers have my phone number through no involvement of my own, as well as that of an untold number of people. So now I'm fucked because I'm just kind of bracing myself for when they spoof my number and beat my 2-factor authentication to like my, you know what I mean? If they can gain access to your phone
yeah.
number through a spoof, then they can.
Can't your phone company change your number?
They can. They can.
See, but that would drive me nuts because
Yeah,
I've had
like-
my phone number since I was 15.
Exactly.
So I
Yeah.
don't want
I
to change
do
my phone
not-
number.
I do not want to go through that. So I guess we're fucked because this same simple shit that like we see over and over again, this like social engineering shit, is still so appealing to people.
People don't know how to spot bullshit, and
Yeah.
it's like I think we get so inured because we pay attention. We pay attention to things like that we see on the internet, like we know when something on the internet especially looks too good to be true
Yeah.
because it usually is.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was from my grandma. She said, if something looks like it's bullshit, it is.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. If there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, the thing is too, like I'm not entirely faulting my friend because her saying I'm pretty sure this is legitimate was enough for me to go and look at the link and be like, well, she says it's legitimate.
Yeah.
And if
That's
I
how
feel
it happens.
Right. So if I'd gone farther, I could have given them you guys' phone numbers today, but I didn't.
Incidentally, don't ever do that.
Yeah, I know,
so be
right?
pleased.
Yeah. Do not.
Right? No, that's the kind of thing that I generally wouldn't do. But just one person saying it seems legit was enough for me to go, well, yeah,
Oh,
sure,
yeah,
maybe
that's
it is.
just probably right. Yeah.
Because that's how social engineering works.
Right.
It leverages the trust of your friends.
Well, I mean, Chris and I both work at Best Buy. That's how I met him.
Yeah.
We forgot to establish that. Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah,
there's
right.
actually we have signs up by the front registers like saying beware of gift card fraud. Like
Yeah.
we've heard it where
Yeah.
people like get calls from people claiming to be the FBI and be like,
Right.
hey, you owe this much on your taxes still.
You can pay it in gift cards.
You can pay it in Best Buy gift cards. So go to Best Buy, buy $2,000 of gift cards, and just send it our way.
Because that's what the federal government really needs is iTunes gift cards.
And people will do that.
Yeah,
they
seriously.
have done it before, and it's really sad and at
Yeah.
the same time just like maddening because like
Yeah.
there's no like who would fall for that, like someone who's deathly afraid of the IRS.
Sure.
So
Well, and think about it this way too, because I have this. We've talked about this before with like internet scams and stuff. Like, my first response to something like that is, how did you make it 40 years into your life without like walking into traffic on accident. But like the sad truth is, you know, people are afraid, and they, you know, especially older folks, they don't typically understand that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, they don't know how that works.
They
So.
sort of can't almost conceive of a person that would do that to them.
Right. Welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah, which is really odd because I feel like by the time, by the time we're old, what are they going to use against us?
Right.
What are they going to invent
Yeah.
that we can't conceive of anyone doing?
We were just watching a video of someone counter scamming these scammers who primarily operate out of India, who will call pretending to be from Microsoft or whatever and say, you know, hey,
Your license key expired.
yeah, I need remote access to your computer to get rid of this virus or whatever, and then it's ransomware and what have you. But we in the video, this guy shows the scammer pictures of himself,
Oh, snap.
which terrifies him naturally.
His like microphone just goes like, and then he's just hangs up, and then he's just kind of like radio silence for a while.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say he turned into like a cloud of bats. That's like, that's what I went with that.
We can stop here. This is bat country.
So anyway, that's why I think we're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What you got, Dan? Why are
Okay.
you fucked?
This is something that is still pretty new in the news as well. So we're fucked because by the year 2032, Disney will own everything you know and love.
Yeah. Right.
Yay.
Sounds about right.
I've already started
Hashtag
investing.
sounds about like.
Yeah. So for the uninitiated, I guess there was a shareholder meeting or something like that for Disney and Fox about the buyout that's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And to a 99% like positive vote, they agreed to let that merger go through.
Christ.
So,
So Disney's going to acquire Fox.
Disney is acquiring 20th Century Fox. Yeah.
Wow. Which means we might actually get a re-release of the first Star Wars.
So yeah, there is some good news. There is some small good news here, but the biggest problems are that I don't know where I saw this statistic, but I guess 40% of the domestic box office was from Disney and or 20th Century Fox this year.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Of all domestic box office?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's this year or like where that statistic came from.
either
I saw it
way.
on the internet, so it has to be true.
Right, now.
Morty.
But that's really creepy that like
Yeah.
40% of all movie tickets are going to go to one company if they
Right.
succeed on this
Yeah.
merge.
And again,
really
like it's just movies. It's not like, you know, life-changing shit or anything like that. But coupled with the fact that Disney just fired James Gunn from Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy 3, and then not only did they fire him, they actually said, we have severed business relationship with James Gunn.
Yeah, right.
And this is over like 10-year-old tweets. And like, granted, like, I don't know if you guys saw the tweets.
No.
There were some that were kind of like, okay, that's a pretty foul joke.
Yeah. And like, I mean, that's his sense of humor. And like,
But he got started with
probably should have been
trauma.
right, exactly. Like, in the movie Super, somebody actually like literally raped somebody.
Yeah.
Which had like left a bad taste in my mouth about that movie. But
Sure.
no, but yeah, it just kind of sucks that like over 10-year-old tweets, some guy is now not allowed to make movies for the largest now movie production company in the world by a large degree.
I mean, this really is though like the long game. This is Walt Disney's ultimate plan that's been like a century in motion to oust the Jews from world domination.
Finally.
It's about
That's probably more accurate.
It's about
than,
time.
Yeah.
So after this deal officially goes through, they're going to unfreeze his head and then attach it to robot body.
Yeah, right. They're sculpting it right now.
Mecha Disney.
Well, they actually had to acquire Fox so they could get Bender, the rights to Bender.
Yeah.
They're just going to put his head on his body.
Yep.
Perfect sense.
So Walt
Bite
Disney
my
can say,
anti-Semitic ass.
this is a thing that appears in a lot of cyberpunk. It actually appears in Warframe. The idea of a mega corporation that can own a planet.
Yeah, so you've seen WALL-E, right?
Yeah,
Like the Walt Disney produced Pixar film, WALL-E, where one corporation takes over the entire world.
Right.
And it's just really interesting that that's the way everything's headed.
That's particularly scary as a fan of cinema.
Right.
As someone who considers himself a fan of really good movies. That's really scary because Disney does a lot of really good stuff too. It's not, I'm not to shit on Disney,
Right.
but like there's a lot of just schlock that
Sure.
goes out the tubes.
Because that's what I was saying. Like, there's definitely two sides of this.
Yeah.
Like, part of me is really mad that this is happening, but also part of me is really happy that we might get a good Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And they can probably set the X-Men back on track because they're, other than Logan and Deadpool, like that's just been a mess lately.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys saw, there's a new Venom trailer that came out today.
No.
I saw parts of it. It looks incredible.
I don't know. I'm not excited. It looks pretty incomprehensible to me.
I want a Carnage movie. That's what I want.
Yeah, Carnage.
The pure fact that I don't think you can make a Venom movie without Spider-Man.
No.
Yeah.
That'd be hard.
It's like making three
suppose,
Joker
but-
movies without Batman. Oh, wait, that's happening too.
Yeah. Wait, that's happening too.
Yeah. So, and again, that's kind of why like I'm also not too upset that Disney's kind of taken over the world because they do things right for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
Like I liked the 4 Star Wars movies that they've made. Like
Yeah,
I
me
know,
too.
Yeah.
Solo was not the best, but it was a
That's
fun
what I
time.
hear.
That's
I'm the one person who really liked The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I
like The Last
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things that
Plot
like
holes and all.
on one hand it sucks they're taking over everything. On the other hand,
Yeah.
they might
cool.
it might be okay because you have
be all right with that.
Yeah, it might be right.
They tend not to fuck up when it's really important.
Yeah,
But
right.
the thing that bothers me and will always bother me, and there's no reversing this trend, is that all the the money men are in charge of the studios.
You're shaking your hands like Larry David right now.
Yeah. All the films are guided by the bean counters.
Right,
At this
yeah,
point,
yeah.
Which is kind of infuriating because the more that happens, the less we lose access to like a real auteur, creative vision.
Yeah, definitely.
the more we lose access.
Right, and that's the thing too is like
Yeah. Is that what I?
The less we lose access, you said.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
because I think that's the thing is like I like the Disney stuff, but it is all a little bit sterile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all has
Sure,
like it's very
sure.
clean. It's good for the most part, but there are some things that are just like they're definitely playing it safe in some regards.
And then they do stuff that just annoys the hell out of me. Like in The Last Jedi, we get this like whole 15-minute sequence on like these poor abused yak monsters that I
Right.
don't care about.
Yeah.
And it's in there because, it's something that you can also feel,
well, Dave-
abstractly good about.
Yak lives matter.
Hashtag.
Hashtag Yak lives matter.
Hashtag yak life.
I just, and I don't know. They do stuff that to me is like incomprehensible, but that
Yeah.
probably sounded really good from
Yeah.
in the boardroom.
Yeah, they're catering to a certain. Incidentally, I've talked about this before on the show. My favorite production company right now is A24.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
And they're new. They're only like
Yeah.
they're only like 6 years old. And I've said it. Like half of their movies are really good, and the other half are like swing and a miss. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they have these concepts that could be really good, but like aren't necessarily executed correctly. And I'm fine with that because they're taking risks.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies ever is a movie that I've talked about it before, is The Witch. It came out, 2015 now. I love that movie. That movie's a really good piece of filmmaking.
Yeah.
And you just don't see from mega corporations, even like Sony Pictures, or you know what I mean, who takes a little bit more of a risk on stuff.
Yeah.
You don't see
like the Emoji Movie.
yeah, exactly right. You don't see or Hotel Transylvania 3.
That's what's fucked up. The Emoji Movie wasn't even that big of a risk, but it still bombed terribly because it
right.
had no soul.
But the thing is, they get so much advertising. Sony's famous for this. They get so much advertising dollars from shit like that that it makes up. They don't care if nobody goes to see it. They're getting paid from their sponsors. So
See, I had to look as we were talking because I wanted to verify this, but yeah, A24 isn't owned by one of these big guys. It's not owned by like Fox.
no,
not-
it's an
Right.
indie production company
Yeah.
all the way.
right. And if if that's the thing, if they get bought or if someone starts making their decisions for them, from like that, annoying, board of directors point of view, you lose that. You
Yeah,
lose it
for
every
sure.
time.
For sure.
A24 did a lot of great stuff. The Vitch, Lady Bird was one of probably my favorite movie last year.
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina, yeah.
I love
I
that
mean,
movie.
they did a lot of really cool stuff lately, in just a short time. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm into. So
Yeah.
For sure.
seeing these big corporations kind of gain power is a little scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long until Wayland Yutani, you think?
Yeah. I don't
Not long enough.
know. Not right. Yeah.
Well, anyway, we'll be back with
Yeah.
part 2 of this show, the meat of it.
Yeah, the meat.
The prime cuts of this episode.
You're trying to ground this to the halt.
Dude. I'm going to just go upstairs and slam my head in the oven a few times.
That's not how you cook a steak.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right.
Stick with us.
All right.
Hey guys, you've been listening to and enjoying the Three Dude Cast.
We hope you've been enjoying it anyway, but if you have, mash that like button.
Yeah, smash that fucking like button.
It looks like a heart on SoundCloud, I think.
I
Yeah,
think so.
something like that.
And if you really want to hear more of our stuff,
You can subscribe to us,
Yeah, or rate and review us on iTunes and Google Play.
and we're everywhere. SoundCloud, everywhere.
we're
Yeah.
always with you.
Always.
And we're rolling.
We will be. We will be.
We're back.
What's in the fucking tree? So anyway, we're back.
Easing in.
We're on. This is the Three Dudes Show. As you can tell from the title, this is season 2, episode 21. This is episode number 52.
Yeah,
The same number as there is in a deck of cards. That's
Yes.
that's true.
Unless you don't count the jokers. Well, if you do count.
no.
Strike that, reverse
Right.
that.
No,
If
if-
you don't count the Hoyle card they put in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if
and
you,
the Jokers.
If you don't count the jokers in the rule card, then it's 52.
Yes.
If you count each Joker as half and the Hoyle card, then it's 54.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
And now if you count them each as 1/3,
If you take the Jack of Spades out,
right?
then it's
It's 51.
51. But you'd also have to take out the jokers in the rule card.
Now, if you play 5-card slide with deuces on the rocks and
Go on.
I'm following.
jokers wild,
Sure.
Right.
and
One-eyed Jack's wild.
one-eyed deuces and pretty ladies,
Yeah.
and craps
I totally know exactly what
Yep.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
And roulette.
and 4 hundo. 4 hundo.
Anyway.
We lost them.
I went
It's
off
just
the
us
rails
now,
like
boys.
Real quick.
We lost the whole audience. It's just us.
Could it be time for reality or bullshit?
It is time for reality or bullshit. It's America's favorite game show.
Catching on like
in my
wildfire.
head.
It's
In my
It's
mind.
America's favorite game show that you host.
It's Britain's favorite game show because they're crazy about the fucking panel shows where they read off like a little fact and expect comedians to know about shit.
Yeah.
Are you calling us comedians?
It's true.
Yeah.
We are
I wouldn't.
we are pretty
In the
fucking
light
funny.
sense, we are really funny.
We're probably the funniest people. So
In this room,
Yeah,
right?
whoa, shit.
Yeah.
certainly in this room.
Woo.
Okay, so medieval times, people believed a lot of crazy shit. You've heard of the 4 humors, for example. Yellow bile, black bile, blood, and mucus.
And good. Good humor.
Hey.
That's a Youngstown invention, isn't it? Good
is.
humor
Good
ice
humor.
cream. Yeah, that comes from right here in Youngstown.
Because you have to have good humor to live here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or else.
or just alcohol.
Right, right.
So anyway, yeah, like for instance, the 4 humors. An illness is caused by an imbalance of the humors, so they do bloodletting, or that I don't know. They like suck the mucus right out of your nose or something. I don't know how they
Leak
do
your
it.
cerebrospinal fluid all over the place.
Yeah, trepanation. Yeah, all sorts of wacky pseudoscience bullshit. But the Middle Ages are where we get a lot of our conceptions of modern legends about things like werewolves, vampires, ghosts, and how to repel them. In certain regions of southern and western, I have to think about it. I keep mixing up east and west. Like southern and western France, like the closer you get to like the Rhine, the closer you get to Germany, the Gaulish kind of region, where the Gauls once were. Certain rural regions of France, evidence has been uncovered in the past many years. I didn't bother to look at how old the research was.
The past many
Over
years.
100 years ago.
Right. But it appears that people in these rural regions of France believed that if you were haunted by a ghost of a departed one, a loved one, or even just maybe someone you've even wronged, they believed, reality or bullshit, the best way to placate a ghost that is haunting you is to exhume the corpse and have sex with it.
Oh, this is a good one, Ben.
This is like rural France, like we're talking like, I don't know, 13th, 14th century. So like, the Dark Ages. A lot of pseudoscience going around.
Exhume a body and then fuck it.
Can we real quick establish the rules of this?
Yeah,
reality bullshit. Yeah,
we all form our own opinion on whether this is true or false. Basically,
we try and work our way through it. This sounds crazy enough that it could be something that people in the Dark Ages believe.
Sure, and again, this is just like rural France. You know, just like closer to like where the Gauls used to be. It's like a specifically Gaulish thing. It's not like a Norman thing or a Brittany thing. It's like, it's like a Gaulish sort of.
Okay, so you're saying it's not Brittany, bitch.
Or Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
No,
Norman Rockwell.
no. As far as we can tell, no corpses were ever Brittany's bitch.
No. All right. So,
it's like a specific part of like rural France in like like a 2 or 1.5 century time period.
okay. So let's talk our way through it.
Okay.
Because this is something that's no crazier than if you can take putting 400 pounds of stone slabs on your chest, then you're a witch.
Yeah,
and if you
right.
can't, then you're dead. So, you know what I mean? Like, the people used to believe some insane shit.
Here's what I'm wondering is whether people's superstitions about being haunted and ghost-like figures following them and the fear around that would be outweighed by their fear of desecrating the dead. Because we take these two sort of
Yeah, that's a good
superstitions
point.
against each other.
Right.
Which one is going to win out?
Sure, but you got to remember at this point, paganism is still being driven from Europe. The Vatican isn't like a
Superpower.
Right.
Yet, yeah.
quite yet. Give it another 100 years or so, and the Crusades start up and whatnot. We're talking like Dark Ages France. There's fiefdoms, there's kingdoms.
So it's to me, this is very easy to believe that something word of mouth like this could go a long way.
So wait,
in this region,
real quick, who were you fucking?
We fucking?
Are we fucking?
We fucking or
Yeah, if you
If
know
you're
the
fucking, you're probably fucking.
right, if you know the identity of the ghost that is haunting you,
Okay. So you have to fuck that ghost.
yeah,
You gotta
That's
cut that
that's the
meat.
thing. You got to know its identity. You can't
right.
just fuck a random corpse. You have to
Yeah.
placate the corpse of the ghost.
See, if you just had to fuck a random corpse, I think that would be more believable.
I think it's funny that you said you have to placate like the ghost. Like the ghost is the body of the person is dead, but it's still yearning for a good fucking. So you actually by
No,
delivering
I get that.
yeah.
what's the best position to fuck a ghost in?
Well, because that
Do you how do you? Because it's gonna be hard to pose that body into doggy
Standing
style.
at the bottom of a well.
yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, right. Say like 2 miles into the earth, and no, we're not gonna do that
Yeah,
again.
no more. We've done Nightmare Tube to death.
No, I don't. Ah, man. Here's what I don't know how you operate, because I know you try and not make it some kind of like crazy where it's like, well, it's actually this.
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't get caught up in like semantics or anything
Yeah,
like that. I'm not going to play word games or anything like that.
But
You're not gonna go. Actually, it's true, but it was in like
Yeah,
somewhere
somewhere
else.
Yes, if you say reality and I say it's true, but then you're still correct.
yeah, right. So like I'm debating on whether or not you're saying like what they actually believed is this, and this is just something that you threw in there or not. But I don't know if you do that or not.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I'm weighing because in my mind this sounds like something that a human being would believe if they had no formal education and they were just hearing this word of mouth, because humans have historically believed some pretty outlandish shit.
Superstitions come from false positives generally.
Right.
Here's what I'll add to this. If I was a ghost and I was haunting somebody and they're like, you know what? I'm going to fuck your corpse. I'd be like, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
done.
yeah,
I'm good.
Sorry for the haunting.
Sorry about that. If you drive someone to that, I don't know. I think that would be enough to let me make me stop haunting someone.
Yeah, right. This is a good way to work this backward. Let's think about it from the ghost
From the
point
ghost
of
point
view.
of view. Nobody thinks of the ghosts.
Boo means no.
Or does boo mean please fuck me?
It's hard when you only have one word. It's
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's really limited
very
vocabulary.
confusing.
You know what? I'm going to go with my primitive brain here and say that's reality. That's my final answer.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that.
I think it's reality. I think that's something that's just outlandish enough that people would believe.
2 for reality?
I'm going with bullshit, and only for the reason that I think people's fear of dead bodies and fear of death and fear of fucking with death is greater than their fear of whatever they think is around them.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So we got 2 votes for reality and 1 for bullshit.
Yeah.
Dave is correct. I completely made that up.
That was pretty good.
I'm not upset at this point.
No, that was that was just believable enough.
Here's the thing, though. If we found out somewhere that this is true, I would also maybe not be that surprised. Because
Yes,
people
no,
are just
that's
that
the tricky
weird.
part, right?
Humans have been known to eat their ancestors to gain their spiritual essence. I figured it wouldn't be that outlandish.
I call that Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right.
I got 2 out of 3, so I'm happy. Yeah, that's something I entirely made up.
Well done. Yeah.
Well done.
A little round of applause on that one.
Also, a little worried that you made that up, but
Yeah.
That's far from the worst thing that's been said on this show.
I was here for the cow puns.
I would like to add the disclaimer. I love the French. I would never insinuate that any of them would ever fuck corpses.
would.
Yeah.
They would only just keep them in dark catacombs underneath their largest city.
Yeah, right.
Like
Yes.
a bunch of fucking weirdos. No, because I was thinking about that fucking story about that dude from 4chan who stole a skull from the Paris catacombs.
Yeah.
And then
put
posted
his dick in it.
Posted
Yeah.
a picture of his dick in its eye socket.
I saw. I went to look
4chan.
for that.
Like
It's
how-
still
like how-
available.
If that's not a
fucked up is
4chan banner, then I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just like Dick and Skull Chan.
pretty much. Isn't that most
Actually, I went to
fucked up
Google today,
thing,
and
like-
that was the Google art. for
Oh
today.
yeah, nice.
Yeah, replace the G.
Replace the G with a or it's like the O's and the eye holes, and then there's like
Yeah.
a dick coming up inside
That's the
one of
L.
them.
4chan.
Yeah.
The most horrifying banner I ever saw on 4chan was the guy jumping from the Twin Towers
Oh my
with his
God.
legs in the shape of the figure 4, and then someone just wrote Chan after it.
Oh my god,
It's the
so
most
dark.
horrifying thing ever.
so
I
terrifying.
remember, I saw that for the first time, and I'm like, man, what am I doing here? like,
Yeah.
Maybe that's enough internet.
yeah, right.
My favorite one in recent memory was the one of Action Hank from Dexter's Lab punching the little My Little Pony knockoff in
Yeah.
the face over and over.
Yep.
Action Hank was great.
Action Hank.
Action Hank. It's not the beard on the outside that counts. It's the beard on the inside.
That's right.
It's true.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Well, today
Let's do it.
this might be the first. It might be the second, actually, but it may be the first episode that we've done since I left my job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second.
Oh.
Second episode.
Okay.
Is it? Okay.
Second episode.
Well, I've been looking for new work, and in the meantime, I've been supporting myself at home. And I thought today would be a good time to talk about your dream jobs.
Ooh, good choice.
This is cool.
Jobs that even because I went through probably 7 or 8 dream jobs through the span of 8 years old to 15 years old.
Yeah.
Right, as you do. Yeah.
Yeah, like you do. The one I stuck with for the longest was marine biologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to be on a research ship and get on a submersible and just study all the cool looking ocean life, because the ocean's fucking weird, man.
That is actually a job that when somebody says I want to work for NASA, that can mean one of a lot of different things.
Sure.
Right.
When someone says
You can
they're
do the weather for NASA.
yeah, right. When someone says they want to be a marine biologist, that actually means that if you're really good at your job, you can go in the submersible and you know what I
Right.
mean. So that's like a
You,
job
you
that's
can go full James Cameron.
yeah, exactly.
Or
That's
Steve Zissou.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I still never. I've
that
never
movie.
seen that movie.
Love that
It's
I've never
it's
seen Life Aquatic.
it's
good.
all right.
good.
It's not my favorite Wes Anderson movie, but
No.
it's pretty solid.
It's certainly a Wes Anderson
if you
movie.
like his movies, you'll like that one.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of Bill Murray.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's definitely.
I mean, I
helps.
like Bill Murray. I don't know that I've seen. What else has Wes Anderson done? I don't know that I've seen.
He's in a
any of it.
lot.
Oh,
He's in a
Christ.
lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His most recent was
I
Moonrise
love
Kingdom?
Dogs.
I Love Dogs.
Love
Yeah,
Dogs,
that just came out.
Oh, Isle of...
Isle of Dogs.
That's right. Like I love.
But
dogs.
no, but
Must love
that's
dogs.
what it's meant to be. Yeah, it's like a
Saving
Private.
Private Ryan.
Shaving Ryan's privates.
Yeah.
He did that one too. Yeah,
He
No,
did it
I-
under a different name.
I actually
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know that I've seen a Wes Anderson movie. I know I've seen a lot of movies like Wes Anderson
Yeah,
movies.
the
yeah. He
Greasy
definitely has
Strangler.
inspired a lot of
Being one of them.
ripoffs,
Sure.
Yeah.
Super bad.
Yeah.
Super bad. I think.
That has some Wes Anderson.
I think
qualities,
yeah. plays like a Wes Anderson.
Yeah, I
movie.
mean I can see that.
Yeah, marine biologist was one. A mineralogist was another. I used to.
Jesus Christ, Murray.
I used to.
Minerals.
They're minerals. I used to collect those shit. I used to actually find some like out in nature.
Me too, actually.
And then of course, like 90% of my collection was still like shit I got at the museum.
Sure.
But
Yeah, but they're cool. It's cool.
and that was always my favorite part of going to the museum is going into like the rocks and minerals part.
Yeah.
I remember when
it's always really beautiful in there.
I don't think I told you guys this, but when I was a kid, I was given, I think it came from a museum or something like that. It was like this little rock of pyrite, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it was so
Pyrite.
freaking cool. Pyrite! And me and my brother were playing in the driveway one day at my old house that we moved out of when I was like 13, right? And I lost the pyrite in the gravel of the driveway.
Oh no.
Which is like the worst place to drop pyrite because even though it's shiny, it's still in a bunch of rocks, and,
Right.
and it could have gone down the crack of the cement of the driveway. It could have gone anywhere, and I never found it. And that house is like 2 minutes away. And one day I'm gonna go and look in that fucking driveway because I know it's still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's still there.
Right.
There's a very real chance. It's pyrite. Iron pyrite is commonly referred to as fool's gold
Fool's
because
gold, right.
it
Oh,
glitters.
yeah, right.
Glitters with a very slight sheen that
Yeah.
the untrained eye would think is gold, but is actually not.
That only a fucking idiot would think.
Yeah, which
Or a fool maybe.
it's
Dipshit's gold.
yeah.
Dumb fucks gold.
Incidentally, I in the past decade, the world's largest private mineral collection was a guy who was like very passionate about it. Not a mineralogist, just
just really like collecting them and setting them up. And the photoluminescent ones that you'd have to go in the dark room to look at were super cool.
This guy had this was like taking your passion to the extreme. It's like the guys who do the video game collections and they have complete sets of like multiple systems. This guy went nuts and he built extensions on his house to display his insane mineral collection. And finally, after many years, his wife and he went searching for it. Like a lot of these were found by him.
Wow.
So after many years and a lot of money spent, his wife finally talked him into selling his private mineral collection, and it was millions upon millions of dollars. He sold it. He sold it to a couple private collectors, and then to several museums, and he made a fuckload of money.
Wow.
Doing it. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know the exact figure, but it was like north of $30 million.
Jesus
when all was said and done, over the course of a year, he made all this money just selling his dream. Which is,
That's fantastic.
which is
Sell
what
your
you-
dreams for $30 million.
which is what you do when you get married. So, so sell your dreams.
God.
Oh my god.
Imagine.
Yeah, I'll tell you, like my first dream job that I can remember being very small was being a rock star. That's what I wanted
Sure.
to be, and I held that dream for way too long.
As a lot of rock stars do.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Ted Nugent comes to mind.
Ted Nugent out there somewhere right now in the Alaskan wilderness eating a raw deer.
Yeah, chasing it down and bludgeoning it with a rock.
It's like
Jacking off to the thought of dead high school
Yeah.
kids.
shitting off a mountain. Ted Nugent.
Give me cat scratch fever.
I didn't mean literally. Dies of an infection in the Yukon.
Da-da-da-da.
Like bashing an estranged hiker's head in with a rock somewhere.
Yep. No, but I wanted to be a rock star, and I carried that dream for a very long time. Everybody else went as like practical. I remember fifth was my kindergarten class that we did the Halloween thing. Everybody went as like real practical costumes. I went as Bob Seger. And I'm not kidding.
Kindergarten?
In kindergarten, I went as Bob Seger. That's not a joke.
Okay, that's only funny because it's like that seems like a real.
It's an odd thing.
really silly thing for a
There's
kid.
a picture of me with the long, straightened Bob Seger wig with the earring, the stud in the ear, the fake beard, and like the rock star
Take
get
that
up.
toy wagon off the shelf.
Nice.
I'll sit and play with it by myself.
I was super juiced, and everybody loved it. I remember like all the teachers were like, "That is awesome."
right.
Right. Yeah. And no one else.
And no one else, none of the kids. I was like, I just told everybody, all the kids, like, "Oh, I'm a rock star," but like I was just being Bob Seger.
A brief aside: a buddy of mine once came to school in middle school dressed as George Burns for Halloween.
That's really awesome.
It was in middle school, and all he did basically was slick his hair back and wear like a nice shirt. And he's like, "I'm George Burns."
Yeah, sure you are.
It was hilarious.
Sure you are.
Anyway,
But no, I wanted to be a rock star. Like I remember, this is weird. This is the Mr. Autism part of my brain. I remember the first time I heard rock and roll music, or the first time that I recognized it, was the Rolling Stones' "I Can't Get No Satisfaction." And I remember asking my grandma what it was that I was hearing on the radio, and she said, "Oh, that's Mick Jagger." And I remember she used to call, the thorny weeds that would grow in your front yard that had the spiny prickles on them.
yeah, I got them all over the place.
She used to call them. She used to call those Jaggers as like a nickname for what they were. I don't know what they're actually called, but that's what she used to call them. So I remember thinking,
I'm calling them now.
I had a vague concept of what a stage name was, and I remember thinking, like, why did he name himself after the weed in my front yard? But that was
my
like
front yard.
That was in mine.
That's my weed.
That's my weed.
Hashtag that's my weed.
But no, that's what I wanted to be. And I didn't know how to play an instrument. I didn't learn how to play the guitar until I was like 17. I tried when I was little, and that failed because, quoting Bruce Springsteen, the guitar was too big, my hands were too small, the lessons were too boring.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's what I wanted. That was like my vision of myself when I was a child. I wanted to be up on stage. I didn't want to be a singer. I wanted to play the guitar. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be Angus Young.
It's a great dream. I mean, how many people? I mean, like that's like a lot of people's dream.
Yeah.
It's like a really beautiful thing.
Right.
To, to want.
I'm
It's
through with
exciting.
standing in line. The clubs will never get in. It's like, nah, I'm not gonna do the Nickelback thing here.
Well, I mean, even if you didn't, achieve your dream, like I think that learning an instrument is still a valuable skill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, for sure. It's a good way to just like kill some day. It's very zen.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
a way to just kind of like
sure.
zone out and
Yeah, even if you're just okay at it.
Yeah.
The fact that you can play anything on any instrument is really cool.
it's one thing hearing a chord progression come to a real satisfying conclusion. It's another thing to make it yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, strum a chord and have your voice hit just that right register.
Yeah.
And know that like kind of like I made this. This is something I did.
Another really cool thing is understanding, like listening to something that you like and then understanding where it's at on the guitar and how to play it.
Yeah.
Like I remember there was a moment when I was learning my scales. It was really early on. I was like 18. And I was trying to learn the pentatonics. It's like the first scale you go through, the standard rock and roll scale, the blues scale.
Right.
I heard when I was playing it, the little 2-note pentatonic up on the 12th fret on the high E, for those of you who don't understand it, it's the one that's with the 2 dots right at the bottom.
Yeah.
Playing that on the guitar for the first time, I hit the notes in the scale, and then I kind of went backwards on them, and it sounded like something I heard before, and that something was the solo to "Hey Joe" that Jimi Hendrix played on "Are You Experienced?" And I remember, like. Yeah, exactly. And it just clicked. Like it was like, oh, that's what this is, and this is where he's at. And I like immediately understood the concept of scales.
And immediately tried to play it with your teeth.
Yes, I did. Anybody who tells you they haven't tried to play with their teeth, you gotta try.
I've tried. I was too afraid of slicing my lip open with a broken string.
It's very
You're
hard.
not really rock and roll.
Yeah. The thing is, people.
I'm
like,
too much of a pussy to be rock and roll, man. I'm not.
Right.
the thing is, if most people who've done that trick are not actually playing with their teeth. They're actually just, like fingering the notes and
sure.
playing them on hammer-on. When you watch Jimi Hendrix play that solo at Monterey, he is actually playing with his teeth. There's no parlor tricks there. They have a side camera angle of him plucking the guitar with his teeth, which is insane.
Yeah, you can
that's
tell
pretty
because
insane.
every pluck he's kind of lifting the guitar just ever so slightly away from himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds plunky, like you're,
Yeah.
picking that string hard.
Real plunky.
Plunker. But yeah, no, that's
Get a nice plunk.
that's what I wanted to be. That was my dream job
for sure.
for way too long.
I still dream about that sometimes. I still think
Of course,
about
yeah.
playing in a band and just like just belting out some great cover and like being a YouTube sensation.
Sure.
Some of the best times of my life were when I was playing in a band.
Yeah, right.
It was like the most fun I ever had.
You guys were good too, man. You were some,
Yeah.
some cool
Right?
stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's just like that's the other thing is like when you start playing music and you like have a band and you're like, oh, this is cool, like this is fun. And then even like for a small Youngstown band, there comes that point where you'll go, hey, but are we gonna like make it? Is this gonna be a thing?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then you start to go, yeah, we're totally gonna make it.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of years later, you're like, the only people that are here are our friends, and that's cool because they like us. But it's not like there's some guy in the back with like a cigar.
Yeah, right.
going, yeah, what these kids got. I'm
kids
from
got it."
Warner. Yeah, so it's like
David Geffen, nice to meet you. I
yeah,
took
it's
a
like,
chance here.
that doesn't.
The name's Phil Spector.
Yeah, so it's a weird. It's kind of like it's an odd dream in the sense that it's like an astronomically unlikely thing
Yeah,
to happen
absolutely.
to anybody.
That's why, like, I did also like teach myself guitar, and for no aspirations other
Yeah,
than
right.
like I just want
You
to
wanna learn how to play.
a music, play an instrument, yeah. And like I knew like because I briefly tried to get a band together in college, and that did not go anywhere.
Mine either.
And I was just like, I'm just gonna, just play, do my own thing for a little bit.
Yeah, if you don't appreciate doing it just for what it is, then
Sure.
Right.
what would the
Right.
point even be of making it?
And like I immediately figured out that I cannot write songs.
Yeah, right.
So,
I'm terrible at
yeah,
songwriting.
it's
so-
really hard.
It's not
good.
easy, yeah.
You and Mike were really good.
But the thing is, I think a lot of the songwriting was on him. There.
Yeah.
I mean, he really, him and honestly, Matt too. Matt did a lot of the writing, and I think I was a lot more of a player and a lyricist.
Very good. Yeah, very good rhythm. You were the voice for sure.
Yeah.
No, like the closest I ever got to realizing that dream was I played in a garage band in high school. Like hard, not really metal, but hard rock.
I don't think I actually know what you guys were called.
Oh God, it was
Did you come
something
up with a name?
stupid.
I mean, I'm not a stranger to stupid band names.
Was it called like was something
Pussy
like
Carnage.
Yeah, right. It was like the Sinister Urge or something like that. I can't remember.
I actually
You guys-
kind of like that. To
Yeah,
be honest.
right?
Sinister.
The
Urge.
sinister
Yeah.
urge.
We're
gonna murder
I remember
you.
famously at
We're
one
the
of,
opposite of the dexterous urge.
during one of my birthday parties, actually at Chantel's place. You remember that? You guys went through my CD collection and found it was The Verge of Insanity. That was the name of the
Verge of
band. The Verge of Insanity.
Wait, you have stuff recorded?
Yeah, you listened to it. You went through my CD collection and made me play it in front of everybody. Yeah. Thanks a lot for that one.
I'm really sorry.
You're like, no, we have to hear it. We have to hear it. And I was like super embarrassed because, but I was the singer. So yeah.
What's even shittier is like I don't remember that.
Like
I was an asshole.
But he's scarred now.
I'm really sorry.
I have the CD still. But
I'm sure
yeah.
it's good.
It's not great.
I'm sure
It's a garage band. It's as good as you'd expect a high school garage band to be.
Yeah.
I remember I auditioned to sing for that band. During lunch one day, they pulled me. They're like, "Do you want to? Can you sing?" And I'm like, "I can't really, But they're like, "No, we need someone to sing." And
Put a
like,
couple shots of whiskey in me.
right, yeah, right.
Hey, coach.
Yeah. They're like, "We need someone to sing," and I'm like, I sing in the car. And they're like, just try. And they like pulled me under the stairs, like outside the lunchroom.
on.
Yeah. And they made me sing. They made me sing AC/DC's TNT.
Oh, yeah?
Which apparently I nailed enough that they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, you want to be in the band?"
Nice.
So, yeah. So there's also a recording of that somewhere.
I want to say that we still have this dream, and I still hold on to this idea that someday we're going to make music together.
Yeah, we will. I would love to.
We written
Yeah.
a couple of songs that were all right. We have fun.
Who wrote "Call Me Bruce"?
Yeah, Call Me Bruce, the song about Batman.
Yeah.
but he's not really Batman.
Yeah.
Except he's Batman.
he's totally
But he's Batman, right? Yeah. Dan, I don't know if you heard that. I think
I
it
don't
was
think
on
I
the
have yet,
sketch
no.
episode.
so bad.
Yeah, it's
Not bad. It's not
bad. It's really clever.
It's just awkward.
You should just
silly.
edit it in right here. Yeah.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could. I think we
could.
still have it. But yeah, it's a song about Bruce Wayne going out on a date and trying to hide the fact that he's Batman, but not actually trying to hide the fact that he's Batman.
No, let's phrase it differently. He's not trying to hide the fact that he's Batman. He's actually trying to subtly let on that he's Batman,
Right.
While also saying he's not Batman.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a single bachelor out in the town. He also just happens to be one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe.
I'm trying to remember the lyrics. It was, I'm sorry that I missed your call. I was taking out the trash, if you know what I mean. I'll take you on a ride in my souped up missile firing limousine.
It's a mean machine.
It's a mean machine, right? Yeah. I'm not saying that I'm Batman. I'm not implying that I'm Batman.
We'll confirm or deny that I'm Batman.
But I'm Batman.
But I'm Batman.
No, I thought that was really clever.
It doesn't
actually.
sound too bad.
It's,
Yeah,
it's a
that
nice,
sounds
it's a nice lilty kind of song in like a G.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really quick, yeah. It was fun, yeah. We've wrote some cool stuff. We wrote the intro to this podcast
Yeah,
is a
right.
song that Dave and I wrote together drinking and jamming one
The
night.
Outlaw Jam.
The Outlaw
The
Jam
Outlaw
is what
Jam.
that was
Outlaw
called,
Jam.
yeah.
Drinking and jam.
Yeah,
Chicken
much,
jamming.
you guys did a much harder version of this. Or well, no, I supplied the synth drums.
You did for the YouTube
I
channel.
mocked
And at
up-
the end of this,
I
too.
mocked up some sampled drums in Ableton, and we did a much harder version of that for our old YouTube show.
Right, well, we use it at the end of this podcast.
Yeah,
every
right.
week.
Yeah,
It's the same song, Outlaw
with the
Jam.
really farty bass tone that we made without an actual bass.
Nice and farty, the way we like it.
I feel like that's on brand for this podcast.
Yeah, nice and farty.
Yeah, we like to keep it good and farty around here.
That's consistent. Yeah.
Dan, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I mean, I think the first dream job that I had, because also in school they like make you like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Right.
That guidance counselor thing.
No, like before that, like you're like in fourth grade or whatever.
Oh,
and just,
right,
like,
right, right.
Yeah, just as when you're still fresh and unspoiled.
Yeah, right. When you think you can do everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll be great to be an astronaut. It totally doesn't involve any like the terrifying prospect of floating off into space forever.
Or knowing a lot about science.
Right.
But no, I my first like dream job would have been a pilot. So I always thought like flying planes would be cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
And like I don't know why I like that died quickly for whatever reason. Like I just kind of moved past that.
Yeah,
for a bit.
sure. Well, you do when you're a kid. You like.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get
It's
through
like
that stuff.
you dream that stuff, which is kind of cool. I actually know a pilot now. I play Xbox with the guy.
Awesome.
I've met him a few times.
Like fly commercial.
Yeah. He's a commercial. He's actually a captain now.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Even
very
better.
sweet.
Yeah. Shout out to Sosumi if he's gonna listen to this. But where was I going with that? Yeah, so like after that dream died,
And there were several more to follow.
I got more practical with it. And I got more practical with it. I think I wanted to go into advertising,
Yep.
maybe. Yeah, and
That is an actual super practical.
Yeah.
It's
So
an interesting
that's
job.
like my dream jobs are a lot less interesting, I think, because I just went like super
No,
practical
it's,
with it.
it's certainly no less.
But the older you get, the more realistic your dreams
Yeah,
become.
right.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah, which is now why I have no dreams.
I feel like
Same.
I feel like advertising, especially over the past like 20 years, has gotten only more interesting.
Exactly, and that's kind of what drew me to it anyway.
Because it's got like organic catchphrases that sort of like memes that,
Right.
that
Yeah.
sort of
Right.
arise out of the most successful of commercials.
Well, that's like the kind of the nice thing about the internet and the way that's gone. It's like if it's not genuine, it's not going to take off. Like all those
Right.
failed attempts at viral media and things like that.
The one that comes to mind every time is that awful Wendy's ad
Yeah.
where it's like the memer
guy.
and he
right.
like is eating a burger and points at it. They write like a boss in impact
eat
font.
spicy goodness like
off.
a boss.
You know what? I love Wendy's, but you're not Arby's. You can't touch them.
I think I sent you guys the picture it's that shot of the dude like pointing at the sandwich and it says "Eat spicy goodness, dies."
Fucking dies.
But yeah, so I did some school stuff for that stuff. I went to MCCTC. It was I don't know if you
Yeah.
been there. I went there for a little bit for like their graphic design programs or whatever.
Sure. Cool.
And then I studied that a little bit in college. And then I quickly realized college and school wasn't for me. So
Yeah, right. I agree.
Sure.
But that was kind of my dream for a little while there, and it was just the sort of thing where I was a bad student and just couldn't follow up with it. Yeah.
I was a bad student too.
Hashtag honesty.
Yeah. Hashtag honesty. Let's bring it down a notch and get real.
Well, that's the thing. They change. They do get more practical the older you get. Like, I had Alec, who was one of my oldest friends, period.
How old is he?
My best friend.
He's 240 years old.
No, we taught. We had
That's pretty old.
He's made of
He actually caught John Wilkes Booth.
he's made of petrified bark.
and he doesn't talk.
He is Groot.
No, we had a conversation one day, and he went to Wyotech, which is the largest school for automotive work in the country.
Yeah.
So it's like the place that you go, at least on the East Coast, where you want to learn how to do literally anything with cars, boats, motorcycles, buses, commercial vehicles, stuff
Crack
like
pipes.
that. Crack pipes. But yeah, I remember we had this conversation where, we both ended up in spots. I never thought I'd be in a sales job my whole life.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, it's just hashtag me too.
Really working that one.
Just pounding it in.
I mean, there are days that I feel like I've been raped.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's sales. That is sales.
Yeah.
But no, we're like we talked, and he's like, I spent all this money in school. Dave, you went to school for the same major as me.
Yeah.
We did writing, and he went for automotive, and we both came out with this, this same realization. Alec and I, it's like, the more I think about it, the more I just want to work at a factory, for 8 hours a day doing the same thing. And I want to work with my hands. I don't mind doing hard work. I don't mind doing tedious work. I just want to do that and, make a decent living at it.
Yeah, like my dreams have shifted from stuff like that to I just want a good job so I can buy shit I want to buy.
I'd like to be able to afford groceries.
Yeah,
right.
I want to have health insurance.
Yeah, right.
That sort of thing.
Isn't that crazy? Like just time beats you down. Where it's like all I want is to not suffer.
Yeah, right. Please,
That's basically it.
please.
Yeah.
But
I talk shit, but I kind of like my job.
I do. It's fun.
I will tell you, having worked that factory job, because I was at General Motors for a couple of years,
I remember you didn't like it.
I didn't like it, and I don't think anyone really does. But I also if I had to do that for the rest of my life,
You could.
I think I could have made peace with that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's like any job like that is inherently a clock watching job.
Sure.
Which a lot of jobs are. And that's maybe actually the worst part. There's some, damage you got to do to your body because it's repetitive work,
Whatever, though.
I mean, really.
No worse than what life is already going to throw at you.
There's parts of there's reasons that it's not great, but ultimately, I think we've talked about this on the show before. It used to be things were set up so you were obedient all the way through school, and then a new boss would pick you up and drop you into a thing.
Same as the old boss.
Right.
Yeah, the new boss was essentially same as the old boss.
Same as the old boss.
And you just do something else, and you just follow someone else's instructions.
Yeah.
Now we're all kind of like, well, that doesn't work now, so what do we do?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I remember you saying, I hate that. Yeah. But you were in it when you were in GM. You were in it at a time where you still. It's all fucked up now, and now the plant that's here is probably going to end up closed in the next couple of years.
Probably.
But you were at it at a time where, had the market maintained consistency, you probably could have retired at 58.
Yeah.
And had a pretty good. Did they have a pension when you were there still, or was it just 401k?
It's 401k.
Okay.
Yeah.
I say you probably you could have retired early and had a decent at least some kind of severance package when the shit eventually hit the fan.
I will say when I left GM to to follow a job that that I got my degree for, I took a pay cut to do that, and I was really nervous that was going to be a huge mistake because there is something very comforting about I show up at the same time every day and I screw this thing in and I push this thing in a panel.
Yeah.
And as long as I keep doing that,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's and that's exactly the kind of job I'm looking for. I know there are a few industrial places around here hiring. I don't have any trade skills is the problem.
You'll learn it real quick.
So, well, yeah, sure.
there's some places that train you on the job. There's a lot of places that don't.
I suppose. But it's something that considering the nature of my previous job, it would be something I'd be very happy to do.
Yeah, sure.
Something predictable.
Yeah.
Something very, very fucking predictable and not.
Right.
This episode went from dream jobs to please Jesus, just
hire me.
Just can I do anything at all?
Give me money and I'll do shit for you.
What were
So
your?
yeah, I want to be a magical dragon that
right.
flies on rainbows.
I want to be a toaster.
Ooh, okay. All right.
A brave little
I
toaster.
want to be a brave little
I wanna be-
toaster.
Yeah.
I want to be.
scarf.
I want to be the jelly in between the bread. What were some of your other like? What's the one that you remember sticking out the most as a dream job?
Oh, honestly, it was probably marine biology. For a while there, I was also big into space. I mean,
Yeah,
like
who wasn't? Space is
Yeah,
cool.
we grew up coming up on the turn of the millennium, and that was a big time where people would just dream about the future and everything that it held. So yeah, for a while there, I wanted to do something involving NASA, something involving my granddad was a pilot, and so.
And various other things.
And various other things. Oh my God, my granddad was an FBI agent. My granddad was a fucking private detective,
Which is really cool.
My granddad was a little crazy. He he would.
Do you have a mustache?
No,
Do you wear a lot
no,
of Hawaiian shirts?
no. He was very. Bam, 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 bam. No, he was a big Reagan fan, and he really looked like it. Yeah, he really looked like a guy.
I can see him in my head just by.
Yeah,
In my head, he looks like the sketch of DB Cooper.
you've probably seen him. His picture was on your fridge for a while. When I was living
Yeah, but
here.
that's old him. I don't know what young him looks like.
Young him looked very much the same, except his hair was black and he wasn't wrinkly.
Tucked in polo shirt, very neat haircut.
Oh no, full suit.
Oh, okay.
Full suit. Oh, you mean as an old man?
Yeah.
As the man I knew. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Tucked in polo.
Yeah, very. Combed hair. Very parted. Hard on one side, not just like somewhere in the middle of the head, but very.
Yeah.
Precise. Yeah.
Yeah, very precise. He was a Marine, so he was very orderly in his dress and manners and what have you. Yeah, and the older I got, it was a steady like wow, that's cool, FBI agent. That's not not gonna do that.
Yeah, right. No.
just a steady progression of like, wow, that's really cool to like, wow, that's really cool. You couldn't pay me enough to do it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
The more you learn and appreciate.
Sure,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what happened with my interest in space. Is like even being someone in mission control, which was like already kind of my ideal. Like I'm surrounded by computers. Sure. I'm at the helm. I'm in control.
You say something cool like "hold on to your butts."
yeah. So, just smoking a cigarette and drinking coffee. They're saying, "On your butt." Fucking and then
You ever see Apollo 13? It's like the whole mission control. Everyone, it's literally that. It's
Yeah.
cigarette one hand, coffee mug in the
It's
other.
like 200 cigarettes smoldering.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I think actually on our very last episode, I was talking about my old science teacher.
You were.
Mr. Alleman. That was his name. Mr.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right.
Mr.
Wow.
Alleman.
Wow.
That was the movie that made me realize like shit, not even mission control is good, because like I'd be responsible for human lives.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, that would be horrifying.
Try getting a good night's sleep with that on your shoulders.
If I misplace a decimal point, these guys are slingshotting out into the solar system or never getting them back.
Like to be grisly about it, that shit happens and has happened.
Yeah.
There is very real evidence that happened with the Soviet space program, and that they've covered it up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Really, the Soviets covering something up. That's
No, that doesn't sound
Why?
like them.
I've never heard of such a
That
thing.
doesn't sound like the sneaky
really
Russian. I don't buy it.
I'll have to look up the thing again, but there was like a pair of Italian brothers, radio enthusiasts, who picked up what they believed to be the last broadcast of a Soviet cosmonaut drifting off into space.
Oh my god, I'm making a note about that.
Yeah.
that does sound fascinating.
fucking-
So
Well,
Ben, what if they discovered space whales?
Space whales. Well, they already did in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Okay.
It tried to couple with the ship, and so they had to sour the milk. It was feeding off the Enterprise's warp energy, and so they had to like reverse the polarity or some shit. I can't remember what the fuck they did.
Incidentally, that's the topic of a really good Gojira song called "Flying Whales." You ever
I've heard parts of that
Yeah.
song, but only in a meme.
from Sirius to Mars? If you ever want to hear early Rack, you ever want to hear a really good heavy metal album about
Gojira.
space? Gojira from Sirius to Mars. There's a song called "Flying Whales."
And I'm still absolutely fascinated with space, but I'm old enough and wise enough now to have space absolutely terrify me.
Sure.
I remember I was out on a trip. My old job was I worked with people with special needs and developmental disabilities, and we'd go on weekend vacations. Sometimes I'd be out of town for a few days at a time.
Yeah.
And I was hanging out and drinking with some of the other staff and the clients, because they're all adults, they can drink legally.
Hey, lift your microphone a little bit. I think it's missing your face.
There you go. There you go.
better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put your face right in it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm always taller than I think I am. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to my own body.
Yeah, it's all right.
Anyway, so me and the staff and the clients, we're all having a few beers, and for some reason the conversation turns to our biggest fears, and I remember very clearly, the turn came to me, and I just very somberly said, "Space." I'm terrified of space. Like, have you ever seen Gravity? It's that. That's what I'm afraid of. Have you ever seen Event Horizon? That's what I'm afraid of.
It could be worse. If you end up in a gravity type situation where you're just spiraling out, just take the helmet off. You're dead.
I don't even have a practical answer. Of course there are things I'm afraid of. If I'm ever in a situation I don't expect to ever be, but if I'm ever in a situation where there's a mass shooter on the loose, of course I'm going to be afraid. But I'm not going to spend my life being afraid of it until it happens. Right. But the things that actually genuinely terrify me, the more I think about them, a lot of them relate to space.
Well, it's like we've talked about it on the show before, but there was, and you can read this letter. This is something that it's speech. You can read this. You can find it online. It was the speech that was written. If Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong
Nixon's speech
that could have been if the moon landing had failed and the astronauts died,
they had it prepped.
They had the speech prepped.
The opening line goes something like the men right.
Our bad.
Fuck.
Well, first the bad news.
Yeah, right.
First the bad news.
Yeah, right.
The opening line goes something like, the Americans who were sent to the moon to explore in peace have now been condemned to rest in peace.
Yeah.
Something
just it's chilling.
Right to the point. Right to the point, which I mean
It's very
is sensible.
chilling. Yeah.
We're not sugarcoating this, huh?
You're not going to dance around the issue.
Incidentally, also a great line for a speech. There's a great whoever wrote that. It's
they had a contingency speech for if Collins all ended up being stranded on the fucking moon. To which their orders in that event were to continue
the mission,
continue working and researching until they literally couldn't anymore, physically couldn't.
Yeah.
Wow. So that pretty much turned me off from space. The
final frontier.
These are the voyages of the Starship Homestar 10.
Can I tell you guys one of my dream jobs?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah.
I'd rather you didn't.
Okay, fine.
Fuck off.
Well, all right then.
So let's bring it away from nightmare job and into dream job.
Back to dream jobs again. So for a long time, all I wanted to be was either a video game developer or a 3D modeler or something like that. And I almost hit a point of fake it till you make it with this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because when I was in high school, I had a buddy who his plan was he wanted to put together like a mod for Soldier of Fortune. You remember Soldier of Fortune?
Yes, I do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And in particular, Soldier of Fortune 2. And it had a really active mod community.
Yes.
Is this the same friend? Strafe?
No, different friend. But
Okay.
that dude actually
Did make a game.
Yeah,
right,
you know
Wow,
that
really?
game Strafe? I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's
We'll show you Strafe.
It's like a procedural
Can you
shooter.
Strafe for me?
It's sort of like a Doom type thing where it's like a
It's supposed to be like this late 90s edgy
procedural
Okay,
shooter.
sure.
Blood and guts, sort of.
I like that.
Daikatana.
Yeah.
Daikatana? Okay. All right.
And he actually did it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But
The trailer is hysterical.
the trailer is really good. We should watch it later.
I should, I'll look this up.
The gimmick was it was supposed to be like the most cutting edge game of 1993 or something like that.
Polygon graphics.
Yeah. This buddy wanted to
Did
come
this
up
come
with
out recently? I think it's starting to ring some bells.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago.
It's fairly recent.
The trailer was great. There's a weird in the trailer. There's a little framed picture of John Stamos that falls over that just cracks me up. Like in someone's house, they have a framed picture of John Stamos.
You don't?
No,
Do you not?
Do you not?
No, I have a framed picture of peanut butter cups. Actually,
Okay, well,
true.
all right. Well,
That's true.
I guess that makes sense now.
So this buddy wanted to come up with a mod for Soldier of Fortune. We had this idea. We thought it was cool. It's definitely stupid now. It was going to be Agent Rez. He's a secret agent, and he has like all of his weapons have secondary abilities, which was hip at the time. It's
Yeah,
like, oh, cool, you know. And
Dude, secondary abilities back in the day, it was just like, if
Yeah.
I press the right mouse button, it does this. Okay, yeah.
that felt new and fresh at
yeah.
the time.
I feel like Painkiller kind of finally put the kibosh on that when it introduced a gun that shoots lightning and its secondary fire shoots shurikens.
Wait, you feel like that
You not even lightning shurikens or just
No, just lightning on the left mouse button and shurikens on the right. You can't get much more secondary fire than Painkiller Black. It is the most
sounds awesome.
It is the most FPS-y FPS of all time.
So we actually did a bunch of stuff.
Shit.
Back at the time, I was really into 3D modeling, so I had like a cracked version of 3D. Is it 3D Studio Max? And I used to do tons
That
and tons
sounds
of modeling.
right. That sounds right, actually.
And I modeled a lot of guns back then, which was like a whole bunch of fun and textured things, and we
Sure.
put these things all together on like a little blog site that we made about Agent Rez and how it was going to be so cool, and you guys are going to love it. We
Yeah.
actually got someone reached out to us from sof2mods.net or something like that and interviewed us.
Holy shit.
About how it was like tell us about Agent Rez and your development process, and we were like, oh yeah, we'll tell you all about it. We like bullshitted this whole thing about like everything that we wanted to do with it, and we actually got like a little bit of interest, but we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, right.
Like we really didn't know what we were doing. There was a level editor we couldn't really figure out how to make work, and there was all kinds of stuff. But so that was my dream, and I wanted to go to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh to do it.
Until you found out how much tuition was a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it ended up being like
You should never, that's what I hear. You should never go to an art institute.
no, it's $120,000 for the degree in game design.
Fuck that, man.
Or you could just download the software and learn.
That's the thing. You can just make stuff, especially in game design.
Yeah.
especially now.
And cooking, for that matter. People
Picasso never went to a fucking art institute.
Right.
You know?
I mean, Hitler did. Look what happened to him.
Right.
Obviously.
Do you want to be like Hitler?
Do you want to be like Hitler? Is that what you want?
Okay, to put it closer to home, John Carmack never went to a fucking art institute.
Right.
You know,
Don't get me wrong. I'm sure you can learn a lot from those places, but they will charge you completely.
Fuck a load of money.
Like, like I said, $120,000 for. I think it was a 2-year degree too,
Right.
which is like even eviler.
Yeah.
that's the thing though about game design is like everyone thinks like, you know, when you first find out like testing video games is a real job, you're like, yeah, that's I'm not going to do that with my life. Hours upon hours, days upon days of playing the same 5 seconds of gameplay to figure out one bug.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there was actually one of the coolest special editions was the one for Oblivion on the original Xbox, and there's a whole segment that highlights a playtester who's like the head playtester at Bethesda, and they have a time lapse shot of him sitting on a couch in a room where people are coming in and out playing one dungeon for 8 hours. Oh my God. Just over and over and over. Yeah, like that's the job. Like that's what you do.
It's rough, and then you got to fill out the fucking reports.
Yeah, right.
And then maybe the thing comes back from whoever is responsible for fixing it, and it's still not fixed.
Yeah.
Which is, it's Bethesda game at that point. We all know it's not.
Yeah, right. It's never getting fixed.
Right. It's a feature.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Bethesda could release a game where you walk into a new town and it's just all polygons, and we'd still buy it.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
That
It's
actually-
also just like a bunch of fucking rectangles.
Oh man, I remember like Skyrim like a week after it came out, and like the dragons were flying backwards.
Yeah.
And, like, attacking everybody, and I was so pissed off because like, well, now what do I do? Like, I can't fight the dragons. That's the whole game.
I remember shooting a dragon with
Yeah.
an arrow, and then he just went up, and like kept going, and I was just like, wait. And he wasn't flapping. He just started
yeah.
levitating upward until I couldn't see him anymore. I'm like, well, what the fuck is this about?
And the problem is, like, I couldn't, like, fast travel away from it because there's
Yeah.
enemies in the area or whatever.
yeah.
And
So you got to run.
yeah.
I guess I'm just hanging out waiting for this dragon to
This is
land.
my life now.
My favorite, incidentally, my favorite Skyrim moment is watching you play, just grabbing everything that you could, and you grabbed a butterfly and became over encumbered.
It's true. Just walking around going, I'll take this, and I'll take this, and accidentally hit use on a butterfly, and that's when I became over encumbered.
It just froze. Oh my god, it's so funny.
That was really ridiculous.
Oh gosh.
But no, yeah, people don't real, and that's like that was about 10 to 12 years ago. That was a hot
Yeah.
like job for young people. They wanted to build games, and which of course, because that was like right at the height of the fifth or sixth generation of consoles at that point. So yeah, and that's when it was like the new rebirth of video gaming, I guess, at that time.
Sure. You're talking about like PlayStation 2, original Xbox, GameCube.
Like the time PS2 to PS3, original Xbox to Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Like that time frame when everything was
Right.
getting super big again.
One of the things you quickly find out is how little of making any kind of game or doing anything, how little of that is fun.
Right.
right.
So much of it is not fun.
One of my Steam friends, somebody actually met at Best Buy. He worked on Destiny. He was
Wow.
he was.
Wow.
But
So it's his fault.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. But I said, "Oh man, that's so cool." And he's like, "Yeah, they, we worked 75 hours a week on this game,
Yeah.
and then they fired everybody at the end of the production cycle. So it was like, great overtime, and you got your name on this game, but now you don't have a job.
Yeah.
unless you
Well,
were
that's a lot of the game industry, too.
Yeah, that is the game
Yeah.
industry. That I found that out, from this dude. He's like, that's pretty much what happens. is
You ever
they-
watch the Indie Game, the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a really fascinating look into that.
I never
never
finished
have.
it.
Yeah. Because it's literally like it's these the story of these three games and how they're developed, and like I think the largest team that is making these games is 2.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Well, they
It's like-
followed the guys who made Super Meat Boy.
I would say Meat Boy was the
Super
like
Meat
the highlight.
Boy. It was
Fez.
Fez, and then was it Braid?
Braid. It might have been Braid.
Oh, yeah,
Braid.
Braid.
It was
Yeah,
Braid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan Blow?
Blow me.
Jonathan Blow me. I never finished The Witness, but have you guys played that one?
I have not started it.
I've seen it played. I've seen enough of you.
I
play
own it because there's a free game on Xbox, and that's why I own it.
They made that a free game?
They did.
Games
That,
with gold.
I hope they paid him well for that, because that guy like lost his mind throughout the development of that game
right.
to the point where one
Well,
day
apparently they do pay pretty well for those games they give away.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
He shared a picture on I think his Twitter account of like this weird. No one was quite. It said something about like got to be more productive or something, and it was this weird straw going into a 2-liter bottle, and it's full of something yellow, and it's like, wait, has Josh Blow rigged up a little rig so he can piss at his desk? Is that what he's doing now?
Or maybe he's drinking his piss.
One can only hope
Well, like
that
Warframe.
he's
It
not.
goes out, it goes back in.
He's not drinking his piss.
Warframe also is completely independent.
Yeah.
Warframe's its own. It's just like the small development team in Canada that's like doing all the shit themselves.
I know we're not on the recommendations part yet, but
Yeah.
have you heard there's a YouTube channel called No Clip, and they do all these documentaries about how video games are made.
Okay.
Fascinating stuff. And they did one on Warframe.
Nice.
They most recently did one on GOG.com.
Okay.
They do really good stuff.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
GOG, isn't that platform for like a DRM free stuff or
Yeah,
something like that?
good old
Yeah.
games.
Good old
Yeah,
games.
That's right.
That's you can still, as far as I know, buy some really great now defunct titles like The Suffering and Psyops.
It's honestly it's a really
great
amazing like documentary because it goes into how they get access to these like the rights to these games that are really old that like nobody knows who owns the rights to and stuff like that. And then they also do the process of taking these old games and making them work on modern equipment.
Yeah, right.
So it's
Oh,
really
that's
really
fantastic.
cool. They do a great job.
Man, I gotta check them out again. I'm marking
Yeah,
that down too.
yeah.
I gotta check out GOG again.
Yeah.
Yog.
Yeah.
Gag.
Gag.
They also as far as I know, still sell SWAT 4. Which is one of my favorite co-op experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
SWAT 4 is fantastic.
Do you guys remember the end of Office Space where Peter Gibbons achieves what is actually his real dream job after all those years in a tech, and he just gets a construction job. He's
Yeah.
just outside,
Right. Yeah.
hanging out, just like a really like I think that is a common sort of like dream for people that work either maybe retail or like office where you're always indoors and the stuff you do is relatively tedious. I think there's this like romanticization of like, please just get me outside in the sun.
Yeah.
Right.
I will do that.
I would love to be in a predictable office environment, man.
Well, it's, it's one of those grass is always greener kind of things.
I think so.
Because Craig Marks, you remember Craig Marks?
Yeah.
He works in home building. He's in construction, and Craig was always pretty strong willed to the point kind of guy.
Yeah.
He fucking hates it just because of the people that he works with.
Yeah.
Because most of the people who work construction jobs are people who. And not that there's anything wrong with this. People who just didn't do the school after high school, they went right into the trade.
Yeah,
there's
a lot of trade jobs.
Typical blue collar. Craig's pretty liberal, so you have a lot of like conservative people in those kind of roles, and he just couldn't take it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Because he's surrounded by these people who have such, and I understand that because some people can't be around people who have different opinions than they do about stuff.
Are you trying to say that he's annoyed with his Trumpy coworkers?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to put it delicately.
Yeah. Well, that's what. Yeah. It's just make it clear what we're talking about.
Right. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like he hated doing that. Made a lot of good money doing that. He learned how to build a house, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But he couldn't stand the job.
I would love to know enough to like. Sometimes I just like obsess over the DIY subreddit because there's people that will just post like I remodeled my entire kitchen and here's 120 photos of how I did it, and I'll walk through the thing going, oh yeah, fuck yeah, it's hanging sheetrock now.
Right.
Oh, this is great.
That's what. Oh yeah.
Hammer that nail.
You work that fucking cock.
Yeah.
Oh wait a minute. He put up all the outlets to true level. Oh, that's fucking genius.
I would have fucking come so hard. Well, no, Alec is the most handy person I know.
Yeah, Alec is very, very handy.
He'll be the one to tell you, like, I don't know how to do this shit. You just do it. You just learn how to. When he was remodeling, he did his kitchen for about $1,000. Cabinets, countertops, did all the work himself.
It looks gorgeous.
Him and Misty did that together.
Yeah.
He's like, they put the sink in themselves. He's like, I have no fucking idea how to put a sink in. He just did it. And it looks great. It's gorgeous, and they did all this work, something that you would have paid a contractor. Their job would have cost somewhere in the ballpark of $20,000.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He did it for about $1,000 and 2 months of his time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and him and Misty did that together. That's just something that you can do if you put your time into it. Well, I wanted to learn how to work on cars, and he told me the same thing. He's like, dude, the best way to do that. He went and got his degree on it, and he's like, I shouldn't have wasted my money because the stuff they taught me, I knew how to do.
Yeah.
It's like you just get something and then you just do it.
Yeah, the trick is have a car that you don't care about that much. Have an extra car that's got something wrong with it.
Right,
and that's then, what you fuck around with.
Right,
when you're not doing something else.
Right, and then if you fucking, I like to cook a lot. So like my big thing is if I cook something, I'll go, well, if this sucks, we're going to McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that philosophy. Like if you fuck it up, that's how you learn. You learn by fucking something up.
If I fuck it up, I eat it. If I undercook it, I cook it more. If I overcook it, I deal with it.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess I'll just chew around the burned parts.
Just eat the burned. I personally, I don't
like
mind
the
a little.
parts.
Just eat the smoldering ash of your former
I burn it
meal.
on purpose.
Yeah, right.
I don't think I've ever. Well, no, that's not true. I've definitely overcooked things, but I've never overcooked anything to the point of unpalatability.
Like shoe rubber, yeah.
Cooking isn't as hard as people think it is.
That's why I always thought, like, man, I would love to go to school for cooking, but like, no, I wouldn't. I could just watch, any number of. The way I cook is I look at 5 recipes. And I'll go, all right, I got a general idea,
Yeah.
and then I'll make something up based on those, so I know the general principle.
If I remember correctly, Anthony Bourdain told people that the way that he had gotten to where he got was by showing up, living in New York City, working shitty jobs in kitchens. Didn't know basically that much when he started, if anything. And then just worked his way. He just worked his way up.
Yeah.
Just work like learning on the job.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
I was interviewing a week or two ago for a job as a meat wrapper.
Meat wrapper.
Meat wrapper. What's your meat wrapper
MC
name?
Meat Wrapper.
MC Meat Wrapper.
MC cold cuts.
MC tenderloins.
So I was interviewing for that job, and one of the questions that came up was when you cook for yourself in the kitchen, do you use a knife?
Yeah.
And I'm like I didn't say this out loud, but my internal thought was, who doesn't know how to use a knife in the kitchen?
I wonder if that is their way of asking, like, do you actually know how to cook anything, or are you one of those people that considers reheating the Velveeta shells and cheese packet cooking?
No, No,
not.
I made it very clear that like I love food, and I especially like good meat.
Yeah.
I really like good meat. I'm not
Some grade A meat.
I'm not squeamish with working with raw meat. Like I will get my hands in some chicken and slice that. I'll butterfly the fuck out of that.
You should
rip
probably wrap your meat before you start sticking it in the meat.
That's true. That's true. That's good advice.
Especially before seasoning it.
Right.
All right. That must have been like a
She likes that cilantro dick.
little.
Spicy.
That must have been a screener question. Just to be like, are we?
Well, it's like the question you get like at retail jobs is like, hey, do you want to steal things? Have you ever stolen things?
Like if someone around you stole, what would you do?
Right. If there was something you really wanted and couldn't afford, would you steal it?
Yeah.
You know,
And the answer is always yes.
when I was interviewing at Best Buy, that was what killed me, because I wasn't expecting those questions, and so I hesitated on them.
And the funny thing is, like, I know what you're talking about, because they put like 70 of those on the question and everything, all phrased different ways, just to catch you if you slip up.
Right.
So I get it.
One of the questions I remember being asked was do you is there any difference between someone stealing a $2 bottle of soda or a $2,000 TV? And I hesitated on that because I didn't know how to answer it first.
Well, because the answer is yes.
Yes,
Of course,
of course, there's a difference, but not in the eyes of the company.
You can't say that, but of course, that's totally different.
Yeah, and so I tripped over myself doing that with all those questions, and so that's where I fucked up, I think.
I deeply resent the sort of corporate structure that says, well, the answer to this is no, there's no difference, and if anyone can't see that, then
meanwhile,
they don't belong
there's
here.
like a $1,998 difference.
Yeah,
Right. Like,
you can eat one of them.
I resent that I'm assumed to be a thief before I'm even hired.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, right.
Like, that interview didn't go well. The third interview didn't go well. I had like 2 interviews, and then that third one, and then I got an email saying nope.
Yeah.
Anyway, like that was a question that I actually got. Like, can you use a knife, or are you comfortable using a knife?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah, of course.
The answer is watch this and then do juggling, knife juggling.
You call that a knife?
I have. One of the things I bought with my tax return one year was a self-sharpening Calphalon knife block.
Yeah.
With like 8 knives and then like a set of steak knives in the bottom.
It's a sweet knife block.
I use those knives all the time.
Yeah.
They're great knives. I love dicing things. I love mincing garlic. I love. Oh man,
It's good. It's a really that was my Christmas gift from my fiance last year. Was a really like not fucking around knife block, like like a knife block you can't get at Walmart.
Right.
You gotta like go somewhere to get
It's
it.
the Wu-Tang Clan of night blocks.
Yes.
yeah. I mean, dream job, man. Iron Chef.
Yeah.
I would love to have the ingenuity, the creativity to make works of art out of food, because those are like 2 of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
is
art and food.
Something really beautiful and something that tastes great.
Yeah.
You know?
Why not a bowl?
Why not both? No, it's cooking. Cooking it's one of those things that I don't believe you can learn how to cook. I think you just figure out how to cook.
Yeah.
I think you can be taught recipes and stuff.
Yeah.
You can be taught recipes, and
I think you can be taught to cook.
You can be you can
don't
be
have
taught
to.
right. Well,
yeah. There's definitely like there's good mincing and there's bad mincing. You know, you can't just go like this.
Yeah.
What you can't teach is taste.
yeah.
I still don't know how to properly flip the ingredients in a wok. I want to learn how to do that.
It's when you nail it for the first time,
Yeah.
it's so good.
I just don't want to spill my stir
You
fry
should
all over the
practice with a
place.
bunch of marbles.
yeah.
You should get a bunch of marbles and just
Hey,
shake the
okay.
thing around all day.
Sure.
I mean,
That's
that'll
an
teach you the fluidity of the motion, the scatter, the catch, the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Unless you lose your marbles.
Right. In which case,
Don't lose your marbles.
Don't lose your marbles.
You've lost your marbles.
Too late, man.
See, you've got your marbles. You've got your marbles. You've got your marbles. Boom.
No
Now you
marbles.
lost your marbles.
Yeah.
Where'd your marbles
Oh, your
go?
marbles are gone.
Gone.
Yep.
That's how you lose your marbles.
You took the theory of how to do it and you threw it out the window. Like, this is the window.
You just boom out the
And
window.
it's out the window.
See, here's the curb. Here's your foot. You take this theory of how you do it, and you just kicked it right to the curb.
Oh my God. What time are we at?
Yeah, we've been at this for an hour and 3/4. We could probably take ourselves a
Yeah,
little break.
that's a good time. That's a
place
good
to
length.
Yeah. Anyone have any other dreams that they want to discuss? And then
I think we did.
I still think maybe like being a professional Twitch streamer is in the cards, but probably not.
How good are you at Fortnite?
Yeah, right. Yeah, honestly.
Because that's all it is anymore.
I
right.
can't stand Fortnite. I would do Siege. I'd do Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
That's my jam. I fucking love Siege.
Yeah, I'm just not good enough at any video game.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
Me either.
Me neither, but I mean, I like to think I'm at least a little entertaining.
Except NCAA 14.
and a little handsome.
I'm good at that.
Ooh,
one.
all right.
That's all. I'm good at that one.
Yeah, be the only person on Twitch streaming NCAA 14.
Right. Yeah.
That could work.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, let's take ourselves a. All right. Let's take us. All right. Let's take a little break and then we'll. All right. Let's just take. All right. Let's just take a little break and then we'll be right back.
Bring me off a piece of that fancy feast.
Chrysler car.
Football cream.
Football.
See, I love that we all know that. Let's take a break. We'll be back in a minute. Stick around.
Forgot about football cream. Welcome back to the Three Dudes Podcast. We're coming up on our closing segment of the night.
Yep.
In which we talk about dumb stuff we like and also the dumb stuff we learned tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
So first of all, tonight I want to recommend something dumb.
Okay.
It's not dumb. It's great. It's
It's not dumb. Actually, it's pretty great.
That's why I'm recommending it.
Actually.
Actually, so I've been getting back into the swing of the games that I think I'm kind of good at, which are rhythm games and stealth games.
Brag about
yeah.
it.
I'm gonna be.
Okay, I get it. You're so good at games.
Jesus.
I want to recommend a rhythm game that I just found.
Hell yeah.
Last week it was on sale on Steam for $3, down from its retail price of $15.
Okay.
And I suspect pretty soon, either in the fall sale or the Halloween sale, it's going to be on sale for around that price again. It is Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Okay.
No, yeah, I've heard of this one. Yeah.
Crypt of the Necrodancer is an adorable little pixel dungeon crawler where every step, every attack, every item use, all your keystrokes, you play it entirely with the arrow keys. It's all in time with the beat. So you gotta move, attack, use, move, all the
Okay.
stuff. You can dig through the walls to find treasure. There's a little, like I said, it's a dungeon crawler. It's a roguelike, so you can expect to die a fair bit. But as you go through, you get diamonds, and you use the diamonds to buy upgrades. You get coins, and you find a shop in the dungeon to spend those coins on like a new weapon or an armor upgrade or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's all in time to the beat, and
It's really cool, actually.
yeah, it's a cute little concept. It's an adorable little game, and
I imagine it has a pretty sweet soundtrack, right?
the soundtrack is really cool.
'Cause those games have to.
Yeah. You had to bring it.
When you get close to the shop, you can hear the shopkeeper singing along to the song. So that's
Nice.
actually
Oh, that's cool.
great.
it actually serves as a
like that.
it
That's a
actually
nice
serves
touch.
as a clue as to when you're close to the shop. But, but
yeah.
he'll just like have the he'll have this like little operatic voice.
That's awesome.
I'll play a little bit for you when we're upstairs of the first level of the first zone.
Okay.
It has like this cool epic soundtrack that's like it's just a great game. Enemies have attack patterns that you got to learn, and you got to, again, it's all in time. The arrow keys control everything. If you run up against an enemy, you attack it. If you run up against a wall, you dig through it. And the more consecutive actions you do without missing a beat or doing an action that doesn't result in anything, like if you try to dig through a solid wall and it doesn't work, the more consecutive actions you do, you get a coin multiplier. So it it behooves you to stay on beat and to stay on tempo.
You perform better as you. Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Right. It's a great game to just if you're trying to kill a half hour or whatever, you just load it up and play. You get to unlock new characters with different abilities. You unlock new modes. You unlock there's like a level editor. Every time you play, a level is randomly generated. So you got.
Oh, cool! I love stuff like that.
Yeah. Again, it's a roguelike. It's you see how deep you can go.
Yeah. Binding of Isaac.
Yeah.
Enter the Gungeon. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Stuff like that.
It sounds fun.
It's a combination dungeon crawler rhythm game,
That's cool.
A rhythm crawler, if you will.
Yeah.
It sounds like one of those sort of like bullshit crossovers you'd create in Game Dev Tycoon. Like it doesn't sound like it'd be a real thing.
Wild Smith.
Kill Butt 4, Kill Butt 3, 2.
Yeah,
Kill Butt 4 is a real return to form.
It's a masterpiece.
It's probably
I'm
the
a
best.
millionaire. Some people know what that is.
Crypt of the Necrodancer. It's fun.
Awesome.
It's cute. If you, there's all sorts of like extra content and DLC for it. It retails normally, I believe, for $15, but if you catch it on a sale, like I said, I got it for $3.
Nice.
Pretty sweet deal. It's a great game. You can play it a lot. You can play it a hell of a lot.
Awesome.
Highly recommend Crypt of the Necrodancer on Steam.
Yeah, I like it.
Me?
Chris.
Okay. I have two this week. I'm going to try and keep them short. The first one is a rolling.
You say that every week, by the way.
Yes, I know. And then it's never short. It's like never
week.
short.
I have two. I'm going to keep them short.
Every recommendation is so dense. Every
so much
single
going on.
syllable.
It's like poetry or rhymes.
The first one is an album by the Rolling Stones, my favorite album by the Rolling Stones, featuring one of my favorite album covers of all time because it's total 70s cheese.
Yeah.
It's an album called Sticky Fingers.
Oh, okay.
And it's the album cover features what I can only describe as a Guess jeans model.
Yeah.
And it's just his pelvis with tight jeans on, and a designed by Andy Warhol. This cover, a working zipper on the original LP that you could unzip.
Nice.
It's really cool.
Is there a
That's
penis
actually
behind it?
No, there's
Gender-B?
tidy whities behind
Okay.
it. Actually,
All right.
let's see if I can find the album cover.
Oh, I can work with that.
This is
Yeah, you don't want someone to unzip that
That's enough for
zipper
me.
over your dick.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah.
God, you just
Here it is.
stopped and thought about it.
here's the album cover for Sticky Fingers.
Oh, man.
The original LP featured an actual working zipper.
You neglected to mention the generous bulge.
Of course, it's the 70s. Generous bulge.
Generous.
But this is a cool one. This was like 71 Stones. So this is like post Brian Jones. Mick Taylor came in to take the rhythm spot before Morty. Oh God, I'm losing his name. Ronnie Wood. Before Ronnie Wood came over as the lead guitar for the Stones, or the rhythm guitar for the Stones. This album is really fucking groovy. This is the album that kind of defined the quote unquote Keith Richards tuning, which is open G with the top low E string cut off of the guitar because you don't need it for anything in open G.
Nice.
There is some groovy stuff featuring some of the sickest Keith Richards licks ever recorded on wax. Brown Sugar is the one that opens that.
Sure.
Nice.
Really nasty guitar lead. And it's a song that you think you know what it's about, but you maybe don't entirely know what it's about.
I kind of think I know what it's about.
You get the idea, but like, okay.
I think I know what it's about.
All right, I'll give you the first verse to Brown Sugar because people don't realize like this is like really raw. The first verse is Gold Coast slave ship bound for cotton fields, sold in a market down in New Orleans. Scarred old slaver knows he's doing all right. Hear him whip the women just around midnight. So it's it is.
So it's
That's
not
the
about-
lyrics?
Yeah, it is in fact about black women, but it's about slavers like raping black women. So it's like it's really like super, and you wouldn't know that if you didn't like because the groove is so fucking funky that, yeah, but he's like, he's on about something. It's just like really heavy. Like it's
That's way more fucked up.
it's heavy. Yeah. It's fucking like really heavy.
Keep using that word.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do not think it means what you think it
Is there
means.
something wrong with the gravitational pull in 1985?
But yeah, that's
nice.
and you know it's some heavy shit. You know what I mean? Like it's about what you think it's about, but it's a little bit more dark subject matter. You know what I mean?
Literally.
But the reason that song and this record at large work is because the band is really tight in this album, and Keith Richards especially is really working that open G tuning, and there's some funky stuff on here. Can't You Hear Me Knocking is on that album. One of my favorite guitar riffs ever because it's just loose and easy. Wild Horses, Sway, Bitch is on this record. There's some cool stuff on here.
Okay.
So yeah, Sticky Fingers by the Stones. Great album cover, really great album, super groovy.
Nice.
Sticky.
Yeah, add that one. You're going to dig this album. It's a cool one.
My
Fingers.
Spotify just refuses to work on my phone anymore, so I gotta remind myself to add it later.
Yeah.
Because that's what my phone likes to do.
That's
to
where
me
you're
now.
at.
That's about where I'm at.
Second recommendation. This is really simple. This is maybe the first time that anybody's ever recommended something this dumb on this podcast.
Really?
I recommend that you go out and buy yourself a big pouch of Big League Chew. I was Dan and I work at Best Buy.
I'm writing it down.
Right next to Best Buy is the Dollar Tree, which is I've spent money getting lunch there a lot of times. The other day I went in there and they had Big League Chew. You could buy Big League Chew, a big pouch of it for $1.
Do they still have on the cover? It looks like guys having a coronary and a baseball.
That's it.
outfit.
It's the
that's not
same.
changed.
It's the same package they've had for the past 40 years.
Yeah.
With the Stay Fresh pouch. It's the first time I'd had it, and since I was in Little League when I was a kid, and I don't know how many people here were in any kind of like Little League sports at all, but that was like a staple. Trying to fit the whole pouch in your mouth when you're in the dugout before you got to go out and bat.
It was not a soccer thing, I'll tell you, because there's no impetus to have your mouth full when you play soccer.
That's a bad plan.
Right. It's a good way to choke.
But yeah, Big League Chew. It's the shredded gum modeled after what I can only assume is tobacco.
Yeah. They wanted to pull it years ago. People actually, because of course, concerned
Fuck
moms
off.
everywhere.
You know what? Stop it.
As a mother,
Concerned moms didn't want their kids to be emulating tobacco use, so
Yeah,
they wanted to pull Big League Chew.
Get the fuck out of here. It's shredded gum like you pull out of a pouch like you would tobacco, dusted with cornstarch so it doesn't stick. And it's the best tasting gum. Maybe it doesn't last super long, but it's really fun and it makes the best bubbles. So if you get a chance and you find it somewhere, go out and get a pack of Big League Chew. It'll bring you way back. I have 4 packs at home because I bought everything the Dollar Tree had. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So
if you want to bring me way back, start making fucking zebra stripe again.
zebra
Do they
stripe
not
gum.
make zebra stripe
They do.
anymore?
2 entire seconds of flavor.
Yep, and then it's done.
Oh yeah, it went like from like really exciting to super disgusting.
Yep.
I want
Very
juicy
fast.
fruit.
That's how
I
they
want
get you.
juicy fruit
Kids
forever.
like bright colors, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, Big League Chew, Rolling Stone, Sticky Fingers. Those two couldn't be. I guess you could get Sticky Fingers from like pulling out Big League Chew.
Yeah, we
but-
brought it together. Imagine if the lips from the Rolling Stones logo were blowing
Okay.
up
Yeah.
big
And
bubble.
they-
We
like
brought
that.
it together.
Wait, what are they
See, it
blowing?
kind of rhymes. It's like poetry.
it's sort of like
Yeah.
poetry. It's like
Every single
So
recommendation
dense.
is so
Yeah.
dense. I'm going to recommend something that brought some joy to me today. I did not realize, but you can watch every single season of Penn and Teller's Bullshit on Hulu.
yeah.
No shit.
It is all on Hulu. If you haven't seen Bullshit,
Even like the really old seasons.
there's 8 seasons of the show. The whole thing is on Hulu.
I used to
Wonderful.
regularly watch that show.
I think it's only 8 seasons long. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they just have 8 seasons on there and there's more of it. But if you haven't seen Bullshit, and I don't know if you guys all have, but it's just basically a skeptic show of being like, okay, well, here's a thing that you're really used to in your life that's maybe bullshit. And those things include like, our cultural ideas about romantic love, maybe. Or
Colonics was one episode.
they do a colonics episode.
One of the more interesting ones I saw was the one about hair. The one about like cures for baldness and
That makes sense.
Okay.
the value that men place on hair and the hair
Right.
on their head. They follow this guy around who's shopping around for hair plugs.
Yeah.
and he eventually decides by the end of the episode it's like it's too much effort. Like, why can't I just be confident without
yeah.
hair?
You can. You absolutely can.
Yeah, and it took us a while, I think, to come around to that. But I think that's where we are now. A lot of guys are very comfortable with a bald head now.
Yeah. You shave it and you let it go gracefully.
Yeah.
And then you rock it as best as you
Pretty
can.
much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So
That's it.
there's
That's it?
That's
That's all right.
So it's a nice return to sort of like I guess like there's a part of me I feel like if I wanted to explain myself to someone that doesn't understand me, I would say just watch that show.
Yeah.
Because it's like a big part of the way I think is like sort of like I always kind of have one eyebrow up about stuff.
Yeah, you question the status quo.
Yeah, I'm like I just don't believe a lot of the shit that people want you to believe. So it's for me it was really really affirming, but also if you
For me,
it's just nice to have it's nice to walk through some of the things that maybe give most of us anxiety and go, bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be fine. In fact, if I'll make one recommendation, there was an episode they did about recycling.
I remember that one.
Recycling, surprisingly, might be bullshit.
Huge waste of energy.
Yeah, it turns out to be very energy inefficient, except in one case, which is like aluminum. Recycling aluminum is actually kind of like
you should do that.
yeah, but a lot of the other stuff ends up being really disruptive. So check out Bullshit. It's a lot of fun. It's on Hulu. It's a great show, and it's nice.
Thanks.
That's it. That's all I got. They really petered out in a way that I didn't expect it would. just kind of
And I've run out of words to say.
I really did.
It's nice.
I really did. I'm just tired. I'm tired.
More to say.
We've all been there.
So what you got, Dan?
Okay, yeah, I thought about this a little bit earlier, and this may be a weird recommendation for this podcast, but I'm going to recommend eating more salad.
That is a weird recommendation
so
for this
like-
podcast.
What is that?
So
Is
what-
that some kind of meat?
Not quite.
It's a strange forest to me.
It's like a green, like thin meat that's like
Okay.
stacks on top of each other.
crunchy green topping.
Crunchy green. So here's the thing.
Crunchy green topping.
Right. I recently have moved into my own apartment by myself.
Nice.
And thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. And one of the things that you take advantage of when you're living, I used to live at my mom's house, was just being food everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And just
Yes.
eat whatever's there.
Oh yeah.
So like I started like realizing, because I'm a creature of habit. I don't really like to think too much about what I eat. It's
Right.
just like I just want to make something quickly. I just want to eat it and I'll be done.
Yeah.
And I started realizing like I'm eating like 3 ham and cheese sandwiches a day, and like, that's all I'm eating.
Oh yeah. Lately, I've been
And-
making a lot of just like plain old grilled cheese sandwiches
Right,
because
right.
lunch meat is expensive.
That's some bachelor fuel right there.
Yeah, and
no
like,
joke.
I just started like looking at like this is probably not the best thing just
Yeah.
to keep eating this stuff.
Yeah.
And like the salads, I like went to the store. I got some spinach because spinach is actually pretty good.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Love spinach.
Yeah, spinach over lettuce any day.
Yeah, for sure. And then and they're not like the healthiest salads. Like I'm using ranch dressing. Like come on, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I'm not even trying.
yeah.
But I'm just like trying to get more vegetables into my body any way I can.
Sure.
Right.
Any way I can.
Literally any way and in any part of my body.
Yes.
The
that I
intestine is more absorptive than the stomach.
Of course, yeah.
So what I do is I put, like a couple of vegetables in a salad shooter, and then I just pop that right out my asshole.
Incidentally, ranch makes great lube.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you get some ranch dressing on this cucumber,
Get some
and if
banana peppers.
I happen to sit on it, it's it's all right.
If you're in a rush, a whole cucumber will do.
Yeah.
No, but like seriously though,
Yeah.
like because I would like make a salad before I go to work, for example, so I have something that's not trash before I go to work, and again, like I'm putting like grilled chicken on there and like cheese and stuff that's not great for you all the time. I'm washing it down with a monster, and like, it's just
Ruining the entire point of a salad.
but
Just
like
with the monster.
the core of the idea is there, and honestly, like
Right.
maybe it's a placebo effect, but I feel a lot better about
No, it's definitely not a placebo effect. My girlfriend right now is on a diet specifically to eliminate carbs, and it's like an 800 calorie a day diet, which is
that's not much.
it's not a lot.
That's literally just what I had sitting here,
Yeah.
drinking beer and Maker's Marks.
yeah.
But the thing is, with vegetables, 800 calories.
They can go pretty far,
If you
yeah.
eat
can
just
go pretty far.
vegetables, you can fill yourself up.
We've been using a bunch of potatoes, corn. We had corn on the cob the other night.
Oh,
It was
God.
shit.
Great stuff.
Potatoes really high carb, right?
Potato's pretty high carb, but you can get away with some. You know, the big thing is the calories. I think it's supposed to be like the bad carbs. So she
Simple
hasn't
sugars.
she hasn't eaten any like pure grain in like a few months now.
Okay.
Like bread, rice, pasta, anything like that.
Yeah.
That would be so hard.
It is.
It is hard. It is hard,
pasta's so fucking good.
and she is a lot stronger than she knows for
That's good.
being able to go through
Can we
this
shout
diet.
out Aubrey real quick?
Yeah,
She
Aubrey.
is seriously super
Yeah.
proud of Aubrey
Friend of the
because that is
podcast.
not easy to do.
One of
Yeah.
our best guests.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
just be honest about this. Like, I'm not eating salad to like lose weight or anything. It's just because I like realized I should probably eat more vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The older I get, the more I realize that salad is good because I was so against it when I
Yeah,
was younger.
yeah.
Salad, a good salad is.
Yeah,
Salad,
Right.
you can customize salad and put some sliced almonds in there, man.
Yeah, man.
Get some really great like fruit flavored vinaigrettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All over that. Carrots.
Fruit-flavored
I
vinaigrettes.
love carrots. I love celery.
I'm a huge fan of taking like a single chicken breast, butterfly it,
Yeah.
blacken it real good, and then just
Yeah.
these cuts on the bias and drop a few in. That can last you like a week. That chicken breast
sure.
can last.
Yeah,
you like
that's
a week in
totally what I've been
salads.
doing too. Is like I just get like just chicken, like cut it up and then put on there. So it's just
Right.
like exactly that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really good recommendation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, salads, man.
because the thing is, I love salad when I
Dried
actually
cranberry.
And that's
myself
always
eat
my
it.
thing too. It's like if I'm at a restaurant and you get like a salad with your meal or whatever, like I'll eat it
Yeah.
or whatever. But I've never made the conscious decision like I'm going to buy stuff to make a salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but then now that I'm like living on my own and trying to like make better decisions,
Yeah.
that's what I've done.
The one little thing about it is that it's a little bit more prep because, like,
Sure.
you can take something out of your
Right.
freezer and nuke it in 2 minutes and you have a meal.
Yeah,
A salad
yeah.
might take you 10 minutes to 15 minutes to prep something nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be
Slicing
worth
everything
it.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But the nice thing is you get like a larger portion, which studies show it. If the thing looks bigger, even if it is salads, which are pretty calorically tame,
Yeah.
it'll still your brain will think like, oh, holy shit, that was a big meal.
Yeah,
You know?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's a really good recommendation.
Yeah. It was.
Or
really good.
salad,
I'm going to
man.
eat a salad.
Eat a salad.
Yeah.
Eat a
That's
sa-
a-
eat a
actually,
Eat a salad. Wash it down with a monster.
You said that, and I thought about Davidson's across the street from our apartments.
Yeah.
Just the chicken salad that they have over there is.
Yeah.
How about
Very
this? How about this?
How about it?
Like
about it?
How about that?
like you got your like your spinach and whatever in there, but then you like maybe you bridge the gap from there to sweetness with like
A human finger.
a human foot.
4,000 cockroaches.
You put some sliced avocado on there, right?
Okay.
Oh, you millennial.
Bridge the gap from green to sweet, and
I
then
only
and
put
then you,
avocado on my toast.
Yeah, right. Well, that's why you moved into an apartment, not a house.
but then you,
Right?
That's right.
I'm destroying the housing market
but then you finish
one by one.
Goddamn millennial piece of shit.
you finish that.
Fuck Applebee's.
You finish bridging that gap with like some pineapple or
yeah.
like clementine or
Mangoes.
something, Yeah, mangoes.
There you go.
Mangoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do they work?
Nice.
Why is that so funny?
It just works. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to a scientist.
Motherfucker's lying and
Getting me
and
pissed.
frankly, I'm not happy about it.
Motherfucker's lying, and I don't need that in my life right now.
Oh man.
Motherfucker is lying, and that's distressing to me.
Your motherfucker's lying, and I live in a trailer park and don't really.
Yes, right. That's
Motherfucker's lying, and I'm wearing clown makeup.
Did we learn anything?
Yes.
Did we? I learned that yak lives matter.
Yes,
Yes, true.
We should all remember that.
Yeah.
Hashtag laugh.
Yak lives matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned. Oh.
No, you were.
But you were
because
gonna. No.
No,
but you,
why don't?
But
I
you
don't
were.
want- It,
But you were. Okay.
Yeah.
I learned that you should download spyware to become a real spy.
pretty cool. I learned that Warframe is forever.
I learned that Bruce Wayne might actually be Batman.
Wait, what?
Might be.
Might be.
Interesting.
Maybe.
I wrote necrophiliac shamans of ancient France.
I wrote Chipotle, the diary of tomorrow, today.
Necrophilia shamans of ancient France opening for anal cunt.
I wrote dipshit's gold.
Shit's cold.
Right. I also wrote jerking off to code compliant wiring.
I wrote space is terrifying.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
Very true.
Less funny.
I wrote if I hear one more cow pun,
Yep.
I'm gonna die.
Cow puns ad nauseum.
Wait, you would die?
Wait, is that a cow pun?
You could die, Leather.
Nah.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Not having it.
Bit of a stretch.
No.
Yeah.
I wrote that I learned that Alec brought John Wilkes Booth to justice.
He did. I'm going to tell him
And we're
that.
all
oldest
grateful.
friend.
We're all grateful.
Incidentally, the next time we see him is going to be at Rough and Rowdy, so we're going to get to tell him that.
Yeah. Oh, that's this coming Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sunday.
that's gonna be awesome.
The last thing I wrote on here, I learned that all your dreams die and become more boring with age.
Yeah.
Three Dudes Show. Give up.
Yeah. There are some days where my dream is to just be left alone.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Oh, yeah. So,
Anyone else?
I think
didn't write anything.
The last thing I learned is that I will never utter one more cow pun.
all right. Well,
It's a big one.
this is the last episode of the 3 Dudecast.
I'm coming wheezy.
2 Dudecast.
these cow puns are done. We need to put them in the ground, Chuck.
Hey.
Ew. Just ew.
Who's Chuck?
All right. We'll see you next week when Dave hosts.
That's right.
Presumably.
Thank you again, Dan,
thanks
for
for
being
having
on.
us. It's actually a lot of
This
fun.
is a
so
lot of
much.
fun having
This
you
is
here.
really, really neat.
Thank you so much for coming
You
on.
have to come back.
You do.
Do I have to?
You don't. I mean, you don't.
kinda have
You
to.
don't have to, but you should.
Is this like a...
No, he has to.
Well, I mean, we know he has to,
Yeah.
but for reasons that he doesn't know.
Is that why it's in the basement?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna hold Steen onto your contact info. Oh God. And and
He's actually like starting to disintegrate and like fade away.
we'll have you back on the ranch at some point.
Mr. Brady, I don't feel so good. Oh.
All right. Yeah, let's call it.
All right, we'll be
it's
back
an episode.
next week. Enjoy it.
See you next week.
Cows.
Goodbye.